908,000.
Bizarre situation in Germany as more so-called experts join police in a second-day search for an elusive animal after many people reported what appeared to be a big old cat chasing a wild boar. Charles De La Desma has the story.
Experts on animal tracks are now with police in the hunt for an elusive and potentially dangerous animal, suspected to be a lioness, spotted on the edge of Berlin. As the search stretches into a second day, police are using helicopters, drones and infrared cameras to search for the animal, with a vet and hunters also part of the effort. Police have said that none of the zoos, animal shelters, circuses or other facilities they've checked is missing a lioness. Authorities add they have no information on one being privately owned in the area. I'm Charles De La Desma.
And breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Alabama has executed a man for the beating death 22 years ago of a woman as the state resumed lethal injections following a pause to review procedures. James Barber was pronounced dead at 1:56 this morning after receiving a lethal injection at a prison in South Alabama. Movie theater chain dropping its best seats feature.
AMC Theaters is dropping its plan that charged moviegoers more for the best seats. The company announced Thursday that its Sightline pricing program will come to an end in the coming weeks. AMC will now look at testing a new seating concept that will replace the front rows with lounge-style seating. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Muslim nations expressing outrage over the desecration of a copy of the Quran in Sweden. In Iran, Iraq, and Lebanon, protesters have been hitting the streets to continue the demonstration over that incident. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday. That was a William Shatner-esque pause there for that Friday. But happy Friday.
I do a Shatner reference when I backsell a song, and I don't think anybody gets it. It's Cody Johnson's song "Human." I always backsell it. Cody Johnson and "Human" because there's a line. I think it's Star Trek. Is it Star Trek 4 where he goes, "Of all of the creatures I've ever known, he was the most human." And it was when Leonard Spock died.
Okay, I think Spock died in the end of 2.
Okay, so was it 2?
And 3 was the search.
He just
Spock.
said the line was, "He was the most human." And so I've always backsold it as "and human." I don't think anybody gets it, but it's okay. It's in service to me.
Well, half our day is probably our own lip service.
Right. Just try to make myself smile.
But happy Friday!
Yes,
we made it. Welcome to it. And there is just a hint of a pep in my step this morning.
Oh yeah?
Well, because yesterday it official. It's official.
Okay.
As of yesterday, the NFL owners approved, I think I heard unanimously
Really?
the sale of the Washington Commanders to the Josh Harris Group.
Nice.
Dan Snyder is no longer owner. The worst owner in the history of the NFL. Nay, not even the Commanders or Redskins. In the history of the NFL, the worst owner ever. And I'm even talking about some of them old wacky racist ones that we had back. He's even worse than them.
Hey, they got it done, all right? Yeah, I'm not saying their ideals were right, but they got the job done.
And here's the part, and I think he still gets off light. And this is the part that, because after all this is over with,
right?
That man's a billionaire, and he's going to live in.
Of course.
I think he's already living there in his own private whatever in Europe somewhere.
Yeah,
and we'll probably never hear from him again. I'm good for that, but it's kind of the bad guy just still rides off into the sunset. But the NFL hit him with a $60 million fine for sexual harassment.
Really?
On his way out the door.
Okay, that's something.
Now that was it's not enough.
It's a drop in the bucket is the problem.
It's not enough because, quite frankly, he destroyed some lives directly, indirectly, whatever. He created that environment.
You might hold a bit more of a grudge because of what he did to your team.
No, but even personally with some of these women that were cheerleaders, I read some of the stuff.
Right.
It's straight up nasty what was going on.
Sure.
And but anyway,
he thought he was untouchable.
Yeah.
He was a golden god.
Well, kind of.
You just got touched.
And yes, he's the biggest villain in the world, but he still goes off with his billions on his private thing, and he's like when he was testifying for Congress and all that because of all this, he's like on his $1 billion yacht in the middle of the ocean doing this. He's I can't be there. I'm in my yacht in the middle of the Atlantic or wherever he was at.
Nice.
It's just
He's fine.
He's gone.
Yeah.
But to celebrate.
What's that? A couple of bills? Here's your $60 million.
Yes. Yeah. So, he was trying to wring this thing out and drag it out. But and by the way, he sold the team for a record $6.5 billion or something like that, which for the moment is the highest valued NFL franchise.
You know what I found out yesterday? Here's an interesting origin story of an NFL owner for you.
Yeah.
The owner of the New England Patriots, Robert Kraft.
Yes.
Do you know how he acquired the team?
He ate a bunch of mac and cheese?
No, he didn't. He bought it from the previous owner who sold it for a song because that owner lost his keister self-funding a 1984 Jackson 5 World Tour.
Oh, man.
Yeah. The Jackson 5 went on tour on that owner's dime. And he's like, well, now I have no money, so I'm selling this team for a song. And Robert Kraft just, no, I'll take it.
There you go.
I'll take it off your hands. The origin stories of NFL owners are kind of fascinating.
Yeah, they are. Well, and
how many people are in this consortium?
Well, Josh Harris is the main one.
Okay.
I want to say there's like 15 or 16, but I don't know. Magic Johnson is one of the minority owners. I think he's one of the...
Shut up, dude. I thought the same thing.
Minority partners, like less money.
He owns a lesser stake.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I wasn't thinking that. But I think of the minority partners, he has the biggest share.
He's the one name that kind of came out because I know.
Well, and I think they're going to make him the face.
Right, Josh Harris is the big money.
Yes,
but everybody said I've heard Magic Johnson and a group of of people.
Yeah, I think because of his name and everything, they're going to make him kind of the face of the ownership group. Even though Josh Harris has made a statement, but I think if you watch the Today Show this morning, Magic Johnson's going to be on there doing a whole big interview about owning the Commanders and all that. Because I saw a little clip of it last night. They showed it on the nightly news, and so it's kind of this is in my head.
You're just giddy.
Well, this was because Magic was being interviewed, and I was yelling things at the TV that I probably shouldn't say on the radio. Good things, but things that are. But basically, Magic was on, and he goes, the success has got to trickle down. It's going to start here at the ownership and trickle down into the office personnel, and they got to know they're in a safe environment. It's going to trickle down to the coaches and the product on the field. And I'm just yelling at the TV, trickle your magic on the Commanders. Trickle that magic. Because you know what? If anybody's going to do it, it's him.
That's right.
This is the man, Magic Johnson. Forget all of his NBA championships and Hall of Fame career. This man beat AIDS.
Beat AIDS? That's what I'm saying. How has he not become a spokesperson for the cocktail?
Yeah.
That is amazing to me.
Yes. And that makes him arguably one of the greatest humans on the planet. He beat AIDS.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that guy, the guy that beat AIDS, is going to now be a part owner of my team. This is a good day. I bet that's our guest.
I'm going to assume, yeah. He bolted out of here and yet still didn't get the phone.
Well, it is. You only get like 3 or 4 rings, and then it goes on. So, yeah, I've been in the Roy Magic chase the ringer around the office.
But part of me wonders because he had to have heard the phone.
Yeah,
and then he bolted out of here, and then did he just stare at it? Because he had a chance. He ran out of here. So I mean, he had.
I think it was like, is that the phone? I'm not sure. I think it's the phone. Oh yeah. Wait a minute. I'm the one who's going to answer the phone.
Like, oh, that's me.
I think that's all that went on right there. But anyway, yes, I am happy. Today's a good day. My football team has hope. When the upside down world got opened up for us.
That's right. When I looked down, there was only one set of footprints, and it was Magic Johnson carrying the team. Now, are they going to maintain? Are they going to keep the name?
Well, really quick. Yes.
Sorry, turn 5 on.
Sorry, Ray, go for it.
I looked it up. The sale, $6 billion.
Yes, it's 6. I think there's like a 0.0 something 5. I don't know, whatever. It's a lot of money.
So the Redskins are worth $2 billion more than Lucasfilm.
Apparently. Wow. But that'll change when the next team comes up for sale because it'll sell more for the Commanders.
That puts things into perspective because that means WWE was $4 billion more expensive than Lucasfilm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone thought Lucasfilm was like gigantic.
Things you can buy with billions of dollars.
That's right.
I think he got a raw deal on.
But
I've said out loud that people have too much money. Yeah. Honestly.
Oh, by the way, if you'd like to celebrate the sale of the Commanders with me, there is a brewery in the D.C. area that now carries By Dan IPA beer. They created By Dan, and it's got the hogs and everything. And this is how mostly hated this guy was. They're literally celebrating in the streets of D.C. right now because Dan Snyder. There's I remember there was talks of parades, like when the sale was going through. I'm curious to see if someone actually forms one now, but they're doing. Come try our new beer, By Dan beer, and everyone's celebrating. And
it doesn't matter if there's an H there or not. Dan Snyder and Dan Schneider both did a real good job running their names into the ground, didn't they?
Well.
One ruined a whole football team, another one ruined Jeanette McCurdy.
There you go. Well, I'm just happy it's done, and now we can start acting
finished
and feeling like a normal football team.
You know what's going to happen though? We're going to give it a good maybe 2-3 seasons. If they don't improve dramatically, they're coming for the new owner's blood.
I think it will just. Because it's going to be an entire culture change.
Sure.
Like, this is the part that, I mean, I don't think the fan or the average person gets is I've heard countless reports from all kinds of people about the toxic work environment that place brought, and then just the level of talent and stuff that they couldn't bring in because of the conditions of that place. And once that changes, you're going to, and here's the thing. The NFL and major, I mean, NBA's big time with who goes where and what and clout and status.
Sure.
NFL's right behind that. And if a guy that's an NFL caliber player that's going to be a franchise guy, they want Super Bowls. They can already get the millions. And so when they see a guy like Magic and they're creating that culture, as soon as you attract 1 or 2 big names, the rest follow.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I think is going to happen with the Commanders. It's going to be one of those, and it's going to turn. You might even get a little like back in the day when the Atlanta Falcons and Jerry Glanville with Elvis, and they had like MC Hammer hanging out every week and all that kind of stuff. He was celebrity back in the day.
I think that's probably going to happen. Is the star power is going to probably increase. You're going to see a lot more famous faces in the crowd. I would assume.
And then, Magic's got a lot of friends, so he's going to bring his friends.
It's not a mark on you to be a fan of your team anymore.
Yeah.
Which is saying something.
Magic's got way more celebrity friends than Dan Snyder. Like, Dan Snyder had Matthew McConaughey and Tom Cruise, which are two great gets. But that's not nearly what Magic can bring to the table, all I'm saying. So, that's going to help the whole lexicon of Washington Commander stuff, actually.
That puts a bit of a stain on Matthew McConaughey. I did not realize.
Well, McConaughey's I don't think he was a Dan Snyder fan. He grew up loving the Redskins.
Sure.
He's a huge Redskins fan. Dan caught wind of that and schmoozed him up.
And used it.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
So. Let me give you the rundown. We do have a full slate for you for today's show. Before I do that, actually, I've got to thank the fine folks at McDonald's.
Yes.
They are providing us and my get out of jail free cards for today. So I got my wife
There's
taken care of.
cream pies too.
You better set that. That's awesome.
Shut your mouth. Did you say there's cream pies in there? The cookie and cream pies?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, how many?
Sean requested I get some more.
How many do you have? Don't be stingy.
This is like
on me.
currency to Mike.
Don't be stingy. How many you got?
He's like, let me see how many I'm going to take.
How many are in the bag, Roy?
Answer the question!
Well, I better get one. That's all I'm saying.
There's like one in there. He's all bragging. Can't put an S on that.
How many pies you got, Roy?
But yes, thank you to McDonald's. Huge thanks.
Absolutely. Swing by any of your McDonald's. They got you covered. Dude, try the cookies and cream pie. We tried it last week, and it will make you break diets.
It will.
It is
if you
delicious.
search for it online, I'm going to give you a pro tip. If you search for it online, separate the words cream and pie. Otherwise, you're going to get a whole different list of results.
Thank you for good.
Just so you know.
Well,
Were you going to eat more than two?
Well, I want one.
Okay.
Is there one for me to have my own pie?
Yes.
That's all I'm asking.
There's two.
All right. That's all I'm asking. No, I'm not going to start like a cookies and cream pie Kabbalah or nothing.
You got a jacket full of them.
I got pies. You need pies? I got pies. No. But they could. They're that good. You could literally put these on the black market and get millions of dollars.
A lot of people don't know this. That the cookies and cream pie is actually how Magic Johnson cured his AIDS.
I can't attest
Allegedly.
to that.
Allegedly.
But big thank you to McDonald's. Swing by. Hey, try the quarter pounder with the jalapenos and the cheese. That's a good one. I think it's called the jalapeno
Cheesy
cheese.
jalapeno quarter pounder with cheese.
That's the name of it. But it's like a quarter pounder with cheese, but with that delicious nacho cheesy jalapeno nacho cheese on the burger. It's pretty tasty.
It looks fantastic.
It's pretty tasty. But big thank you to McDonald's. Swing by. Utilize the app.
Yes.
Rewards for you. I got a bunch of. They still have the Grimace meal on my apps. I was there.
Really?
Yesterday I went and ordered a little something for lunch, and I could still get the Grimace meal with the Big Mac.
I'm slightly jealous of how many points you have. Like, it's obvious you don't have kids. Your point's rich.
I am a point baller. Yes.
Like, you could treat your whole family to Happy Meals on your points.
I'm a little Jeff Bezos like with my McDonald's reward points. I'm not gonna lie. Yes. I could have bought the Commanders with them things.
You're the Elon Musk of Nick Rewards.
Man, I wonder if that would translate to Commander ownership. Me and Magic, we could have just run this thing. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. Here in just a minute, we're going to have the Dodge Boys from Richland join us, Scott Gilmore and Brady Deering. And so we'll get an update what's going on at the through all of Richland, but particularly at the Dodge store there. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to replay our interview. Wednesday, Andrew Moore with the Roswell Chamber of Commerce joined us. In the 9 o'clock hour, gives update on stuff, including next week and on. So we'll play that one for you. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Alethea Hartwell with the Roswell Communal Theater will join us. The curtain's rising. The season is coming up here in just a few couple weeks.
Sir.
And so we're going to talk all about that, immersive dinner and the opening show for the season, all that stuff. So we'll talk to you about that with Alethea here in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include news and more news and nothing but the news.
All the news.
And then and weather and all that good stuff. So That's all I have to say about that, I think. So, you know what? We're going to do the weather. They did it. Remember how they're talking of rain tonight? And now there's like a 20% late tomorrow night or something like that.
I pushed it back.
Yeah.
Yesterday, like midday, felt like fall compared to how it's been recently.
Yeah, there was a
It
lull
was
in
kind of nice outside.
Yeah, just for a minute.
Yeah. It was nice to have a dry forehead, just for a quick second.
And then
the humidity sunk in and it got
right back
miserable about 5 o'clock.
But anyway, yeah, so the weather not as, well, it's still going to be in the 90s, though, tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Allegedly. But
I'll take it.
All right, here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. 100 to 105 for the afternoon high today. We have dry air in place for now, so we're expecting some sunshine. Overnight, a few clouds and low 70s, and then we get a mix of sunshine and clouds Saturday morning, sunny in the afternoon, upper 90s to low 100s. Slim chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Saturday night and down to about 70, 100 to 105, and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 73 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 41%. Winds currently out of the northeast at 6 miles per hour. 102 are expected high today under sunny skies. Winds out of the east, 5 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, looking at partly cloudy skies. No talk of rain. Like the other day, they were saying we had like rain chances tonight. Not so much now. But yeah, partly cloudy tonight. Overnight low of 72 degrees. Southeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Looking at the weekend, sunny and 97 tomorrow, so a little bit of a break, sort of. East winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. There is a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms Saturday night, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 72 degrees. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, we're looking at sunny skies and hot 101. The high, and then back to 105 and sunny when you head back to work on Monday of next week. All right, it is 24 minutes after 7. Let's go ahead and take a quick 2-minute break, and then on the other side, we'll have the Dodge Boys from Richland Motors on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Do you struggle with acne, eczema, or worry about skin cancer? Research suggests that 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer by the age of 70, but when detected early, 99% of skin cancer cases are curable. At Epiphany Dermatology of Roswell, we place special emphasis on prevention, screening, and treatment, so schedule your annual skin exam by calling us at 575-208-7050 or by visiting our website at epiphanydermatology.com and get checked today. Prevention is key.
You're invited. The 2023 Eddy County Fair is July 25th through the 29th at the Eddy County Fairgrounds in Artesia. Come out for a week of fun. The KSVP Morning Show will be broadcasting live Wednesday through Friday, and you can catch almost all of the livestock shows and junior livestock auction with streaming video live and on demand at ksvptv.com. So tell all of your out-of-town friends and family that can't be there in person. Coverage of this year's Eddy County Fair brought to you in part by Runyon Cattle Beef, proud to support the Eddy County Fair. Call today, 575-760-5655.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
Your destination for health is closer than you think. You don't have to drive hours for personalized care. You can get high-quality health care right here, close to home, at Artesia General Hospital. From hip, knee, and shoulder replacements to sports injuries, general surgery, pain management, and wound care, our providers will help you get back to doing the things you love right here in Southeast New Mexico. Artesia General Hospital is here for you when you need us. To learn more about some of our key service lines, visit artesiageneral.com/closer.
Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character. When asked for comment, Buzz Lightyear responded, "To infinity and beyond." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:27, and joining us in studio this morning, the You still guys refer to yourselves as the Dodge Boys? Is that kind of I thought that was the moniker and everything. So, but I didn't want to, overstate here. But
the Dodge Boys are back.
Good deal. The Dodge Boys.
There's no question about it.
For Richland Motors are here.
No question about it.
Scott Gilmore, Brady Deering, and John Lujan. Good morning, gentlemen. How y'all doing today?
Awesome.
Great.
Awesome.
So how is life at Richland this morning? Is it been busy? I know because I drive by the Dodge store there every few days, and I kind of, you go by and I got my Jeep from you guys, and so I'm always nosy about Jeeps when I go by there. So I'm like, oh, there's a few more this time. This thing, so it looks like the lot's pretty good selection of Jeeps and pickups and Rams, and the products that people are always in demand for.
Yeah, we're looking good right now. We've got a good inventory for people to pick from. It's hot outside.
Yeah, it is.
So are the deals over there. We want you to come by and see us so we can tell you what we got going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and this is the deal, too, and this is just anytime, and it don't matter if you're at the GM store or the Dodge store. It's just kind of at Richland. You kind of go in there and you just plop down and talk to people and stuff. It's it's more family style, less formal than like get in line at the service department. You know what I mean? It's kind of, hey, what's up? And oh yeah, he'll get you a minute. You want to sit down? Hey, there's some chicken in the other room. You want some chicken? It's kind of like how it is originally. Am I wrong? So that's part of the experience. Is just kind of the whole deal. And of course, and regardless if you buy a GM product over the GM store or a Dodge or Chrysler Ram product at the Dodge store, you're all part of the Richland family, the brand champion program. So, and this is something that, since day one, Richland's kind of been around, that they've always said, it's sure we want to sell your car right now, but the idea is to, we're selling the generations of your family cars. And when you're done with this one, whether you pass it down to the kids or retire to the scrap heap or whatever, 20 years later, you're going to get your next car, you're coming into Richland, or when your kids are old enough and they're coming into Richland, and that's the idea, and so that's why they do it this way, and that's kind of your guy. I know you guys are like, hey, we're the guys supposed to be talking, but that's kind of how Richland is. Well, I mean, I own a Jeep from there, and I know exactly how it goes, and so what's the big what are people kind of into right now? What's kind of the hot ticket stuff that people are really asking for right now?
Yeah. I would say our trucks right now.
Okay. Rams are always in demand. You guys have, even before the world of COVID, you had selection, but, a lot of times those Ram pickups, they're on the lot, they're barely backing them off the trailer, and it's like, all right, that one's sold already. You know what I mean? They're hotcakes at any time.
Yeah, so. Trucks are a big deal. Jeeps are a big deal. John Lujan's here. He's kind of in charge of our ordering. So he knows a lot of stuff that's on the way. If you want to go over some of the things we got coming down the pipe.
You got the Christmas list, like Santa's little wish list here.
Well, we have one of the hottest, newest things in the Grand Wagoneer. We have a couple of those coming in.
Okay. And those are those like the Jeep Cherokee line? Are the Wagoneers kind of the more luxurious?
Luxury,
yes, you got
with the Cadillacs and all that stuff on there.
Gotcha.
So that's what that's going after in that market there. Full size, you have a standard wheelbase and a long wheelbase. To compete with the XLs out there.
Yeah, so, even the fancier, nicer ones are still meant to rock climb and do all the things that Jeeps do.
Pretty much. They're fully capable.
Yeah,
four-wheel drive.
But you feel a little bad if you get it dirty.
I've seen some pretty dirty ones. Here, yeah, most definitely. But we have some the new redesign of the interior for the Jeep Wranglers. I know you're a big fan of those.
Yeah,
they have the new big screens in them. I have a few of those coming.
Nice.
We still have a few of the lesser models of the last call allocation for Challengers, Chargers.
Okay. You still looking a little muscle?
Yeah, little muscle. We still have a little bit of that there. And in fact, I just got an allocation for a Hellcat Durango. So anybody out there, Hellcat Durango available at Richland. So,
oh dang, that one. I know you want to sell them. I get that. But when you get one of those, you're like, I hope it stays on lot for a couple weeks so people at least come and like, it a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like whenever you get like a Hellcat or something, it's a little bit more like like, I wouldn't say in the toy department, but it is a little bit, you know, if you've got a little bit more disposable income and you're like, that's what I want right there. Yeah. And so that's going to turn heads when it sits on the lot. So you're like, I want to sell it, don't get me wrong, but it's like, can we like put it out for like a week before anybody touch it or anything?
And then, of course, we got the newest arrival, too, in the Dodge Hornet. So we've been anticipating that one for a long time. It got held up a little bit, but it finally landed. It is on the lot, ready to drive, ready to buy. So come on out.
I've seen all the commercials for the Hornets, and I'm trying, and they look pretty sweet and they look cool. But I'm trying to figure out because they kind of market it with like the Chargers and the Challengers. Yeah. Is it considered a muscle car? Is it more of an economical or is it a cocktail of both? Because they kind of market it like it's more sporty than it is the other one.
It has a little 2.0 engine, and it's turbocharged. So
gotcha.
It's a fast little thing.
So it's like all the punch without the expense of the gas and all the big honking engines and loudness. So
the interior is beautiful. It's a not real well built interior.
Good deal.
The screens are nice. It's a nice vehicle.
Yeah, they're pretty cars.
And the color we have is a pretty cool color too. So
okay. Is it that gold?
Acapulco gold.
Yeah, because in the commercial they're kind of that goldish. I guess Acapulco gold is what it's called. So, although when I hear that, I feel like I should be in a 70 speedboat. But then again, of course, the Hornet it's rebranding. Back to a different time when the Hornet was out before. It kind of goes back to the speedboats.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
But if you've been wanting to look at one and touch one and see one, you got one on the way here.
No, we got one on the lot already.
On the lot right now.
Right now.
So I'm guessing too. Those kind of go from if you want a more basic, so they're more like a family errands. But if you want a more flashier, like the Acapulco Gold type, then they and some. So if you're like, look, I like the Hornet, but I'm not looking for a muscle car here. I'm just looking for something to live my life in.
They're not too bad in price point. I don't think you're going to break the bank with them.
Good deal.
I think they're under 40,000.
Okay.
So it's not bad.
Absolutely, yeah. That's definitely something, especially if you're trying to get in the muscle car world. Mm-hmm. It's those do get a little bit higher end. These aren't the days when you were in your garage with a beat-up old Charger from the 60s, and then you're just working. These cars come a little bit re-ready. But that being said, if you have a Charger that's like all fixed up from the 60s, you could sell it for, I don't know, I've seen them as $100,000 depending on how tricked out they are and stuff. So don't get me wrong, those are nice and cool, but as far as working on them in the garage, these new ones are a little different. But which brings me to the other point, service department. You guys are fully stocked and ready to handle all makes and models. If you need just oil changes or things like that, as part of the you buy a vehicle, you're part of the brand champion program, and so you kind of get all that as part of it. But if you're just a person with a car that needs an oil change, and you can bring it on by, and doesn't matter if it's a Dodge product or Chrysler product or whatever, they can do all that. Now, if you got a Dodge product, they do know a little bit more about those than the other ones, because that's kind of where their wheelhouse is. But any of that customization, like even like Jeep guys like to always constantly add things to it, and some of us like them but have no mechanical knowledge how to do that kind of stuff. Yeah. So we go let's go see the Dodge boys, and they go help us out there.
And that's the best part to your thing there, is that if you come to the Dodge store and you have a Jeep or a Ram and you want to add the accessories to it, and it's a Mopar part, then it tacks on to your
warranties and all that. So it's like it's an extension of whatever you've already had on the car, pretty much. Good deal. So another good reason to do. But I mean, that's especially Jeep Wrangler people. I mean, I rarely do I know a person that buys a Jeep Wrangler and then does nothing to it in a year or two. Usually, I mean, even if it's something small like adding little eyelets on the front or something, they're always just doing a little something on that thing. So. But and so you might need to make and I know you're going to try it yourself, and it's going to be a little cockeyed, or why are the lights they're blinking out of sequence now? What's going on? And just bring it down. Let the Dodge guys do all that. and they do a lot of quick, because I actually had a quick turnaround issue about a year or so ago where my battery, it just said we're done skiing. I was like, here getting ready to go to. I was at work. I was getting ready to go do something. I was like, oh dang, and but. Yeah, I got right over to Richland, and about an hour later, I got a jump, and then I got over there in about 30 minutes later, I was back in a new battery and good to go. So they get you quick turnaround stuff too. Right. They do that. So, and what else do we want to talk about? Some of the car stuff. Well, how's the pre-owned side? I know that's that was your bread and butter for a long time here during COVID. But
it still is too. We're hungry at Dodge. Me and Brady just came over from the Chevy store, and Yvonne and Ruben. They're not gone. They're at our Chevy store, so still give them a call. But we're hungry. Our prices are aggressive on used cars and new. For the longest time, you didn't see any discounts on new vehicles. If anything, they're still marking them up, and we've got discounts on our units on the lot now.
Nice.
And that's a dealer discount. So if you're out shopping, driving up and down 2nd Street, don't forget to come to Southeast Maine, because we've got, on average, $4,000 to $5,000 off in additional rebates on trucks and SUVs as well.
That's kind of unheard of right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it completely went away during COVID, and right now they're still not really loosening the purse strings that much on them, but you guys are getting headway there.
We've got half-ton Rams with $7,000-8,000 off total right now.
Wow.
So if you're in a sticky situation, make sure you come down.
Absolutely.
And see us,
And that's something I know, with, it doesn't matter, again, what store you go to, the GM or the Dodge store. You guys really do work and find lenders and things, and you guys have a pretty good relationship with all of the lenders, and you kind of like, you guys just know, okay, based on what I'm looking at the numbers here, I bet you I can get you in it over at Bank X or over here or whatever. That's your finance folks on either campus are they're really good at that kind of stuff. So let them go to work for you. Let them, you'll be amazed that they can run the numbers. Credit doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, granted, yes, good credit certainly gets you better deals and all that stuff. But the COVID world and people's credits and things. So there's room to wiggle on some of this stuff, and that's where you guys really can work your expertise on that kind of stuff. So let them do it. Let them do their magic on you and say, yeah, we can get you approved. We'll do this, and they really are good at making that a hassle-free experience and not the the back and forth and all the stories you see on TV and all that kind of stuff. It's not really like that. They're going to bat for you. They're like, hey, we're going in and we're seeing what deals we can work with the lenders and say, yeah, I got you at this interest rate because this is our partnership with them and that kind of stuff. So come and talk to them and come see the lot. But as far as the pre-owns right now, what's trade-in value? I know I'm sure it's probably not quite the highs as it was, in the prime of COVID, but I'm thinking trade-in value is still probably a little up as far as what people are still getting pretty good value for trade-ins and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, yeah. Yeah, no, we need...
Like, I think Freddie was telling me, I think last month when he was on, like, what you were seeing now or you're in the middle of is, like, people bought new cars during COVID, but they weren't quite the new cars they wanted. Like, it doesn't have the right color seats or it doesn't have the alloy wheels they liked or whatever it was. So now they're trading back in and getting the cars they liked or with their modifications. So now you have a car that's like a year old that the only thing is the seats are browner instead of black or something like that. You know what I mean? That's the difference. And so those now are pre-owned vehicles, which you're not paying the drive off the dealer sticker price like a new car. And so that so that's an avenue that a lot of people are finding success with right now too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, trade-in values are good. Some
deal.
are great. We need used cars too. So even if you're not looking to trade in, you just need to get out of a car or something.
You just say, hey, we got there's 2 people driving. We have 4 cars in the garage.
Exactly.
Why we have 4 cars? Let's drop 2 here or drop 1.
Yeah, let us buy them.
Sure. And you'd be amazed and it's all stuff because I'm guessing too, like, is during the summer, like when you get around time now, kids start going off to college, things like that. So is there a big market for like those smaller, fuel efficient, but we'll get our kid to and from Albuquerque or Texas or wherever they're going to be going to school at. Usually you get a demand for those kind of vehicles right around this time of year where you probably always have, but it's kind of a bigger demand because there's people like, hey, I want to buy my kid a car for college, but I'm obviously not buying this $60,000 truck. Get them a good $10,000 vehicle that'll get them to and from college, things like that. That's kind of a popular market right now for some of those, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
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 So, I mean, always be on the lookout for that. So, regardless, your car's probably got some value, and even if you've got quote unquote an older, needs a little more love vehicle.
Definitely.
I'm very curious. What do you guys do when it gets like 110? Like, what do you like as car salesman? Like, is it, is it just all right? Let's do online today. Let's go. I mean, 'cause I imagine there's days, and even customers probably are like, no, it's 110. I don't want to walk out here because there's not a lot of shade on a car lot because it's a lot full of cars. There's not unless you have some in the city with the giant eco garages or all that mess. But I mean. Does selling cars in the summer change a little bit where people kind of like, oh, let's do it here? It's like, yeah, let's bring it up under the thing and then we can look in the cooler. I mean, I'm just curious. Like, is it change for you guys when the weather's like this on how you guys sell and all that? I'm just gee whiz curious.
Yeah. I feel like the phones probably ring a little bit more.
Sure.
People are using their phones or their computers to shop a little bit more. I know us as salesmen, we try to hit the phones a little bit more and get with people. And
are customers more savvy with the internet and stuff? Like I remember when I'm younger in days, and I go, you guys are kind of young, so maybe you don't. But back in the day, the whole kick the tires and all that. But now that specs and everything are online and all that, I mean, I would imagine people kind of come in more with a knowledge of what they want versus I'm just walking a lot and see what kind of moves me here. It's like I want a truck, I think, but I don't know. Now they're kind of, it's like, no, I want the Dodge Ram 1500 with this package, and this package. Is that what you're kind of seeing more of now, or is it still the people just kind of, I don't know, maybe I want a truck, maybe I want an SUV, I'm not sure. Let's just kind of walk and see what moves me here.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're always going to have those looky-loos.
Yeah.
But for the most part, nowadays the customers are very, very informed, so that just challenges us to be more informed or be up to speed with what they are too.
Well, I imagine that's probably half your job is just keeping up on the latest features, the bells, whistles, any additions, that's why, when you talk about, hey, what's coming out with the new Hornet and this and that's because these are products you're going to sell, so now you got to know these features. And when the dumb customer's like, what's this button do? Because you're like, there's so many buttons. And you're like, that button does this, because you don't want to sit there going, I don't know. Let's find out together, shall we?
There's been several instances where I'll be with the customer and they'll know more than I do, and I'll just sit back and say, okay, you know more than me.
Right.
I'm just here to fill in what you don't know. So, and that's just it too. You just got to be able to talk to the customer and let them know that you're there to listen.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure you get all the times. You get the people that know and people that think they know, and then it's life in general. It doesn't matter what industry or what walk of life. There's always that clique of people, and you got to deal with it in a certain way. Right. But definitely come talk to the guys. Come look at if it's new pre-owned, come out. They really do want to earn your business and come and see. You can, like you said, you can go to the Richland GM or Dodge websites. I always just Google Richland, Dodge, and GM. What's the Dodge website? The actual
it's
address?
richlandcdjr.com.
There you go. See, that's why there's a lot of letters, so I just Google it.
Hey, we all love Chevy, but go to the Dodge site first.
Go to the Dodge site first. Yeah. And I also encourage you to like and follow on Facebook, social medias. I know from time to time you guys like to have a little fun and festivities on there and do things. And, of course, anytime like one of the Hellcats or something new rolls in off the lot, the first place you're going to see about it is probably right there on Facebook there. So that way you can like and follow and you can kind of stay up to date on what's going on there. And certainly service, and come by the service department. How are you guys on employees right now? I'm sure you looking for sales folks, looking for sales service department folks? If folks are interested, they come on by and apply?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Come on by, talk to any of us, actually.
And I imagine, at the car lot, you can go from entry level to your car washers. So if you're like kind of, and I know time and time again, I've had, when we have Freddie on, a lot of times he's like, he's one of those guys that started, I think he was a car washing guy at the very, very beginning, and now you look where he's at. But that's very common in, when it was Desert Sun or Richland and coming on up. Mm-hmm. Folks, they start out washing cars or just start, and next thing you know, they're finance managers, sales manager, general managers. That's how they do it. So
Brady's a prime example here. He started as a wash guy back at Dodge Boys.
There you go. The proof is in the pudding right
exactly.
here.
Exactly. 17 years old. Started over there. Went to Chevy, and then worked my way to management over here at Dodge.
See, now he's like a high roller up here.
It's a great place to have a career.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you hustle. It's just like anything. You work hard, you're going to get rewarded.
Exactly.
And that's how it is at Richland. But like I said, you can start there, and if you're willing to put in the effort, you're going to succeed in this
just
company.
like everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. So come on down, and so just tell them what kind of car you driving now.
Dodge Ram, because I got 2 kids now. But before that, it was a Hellcat.
Yeah, see? All that from washing cars. The Hellcat, I'm sure the missus told you time to turn in the Hellcat, huh?
Yeah.
The older you get,
responsible decisions.
The older you get, the more that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The toys will change, but they will be turned back in at some point. Next will be a boat or a jet ski or, I don't know, a hunting cabin. Very good. Is there anything we didn't talk about we wanted to cover?
Yes, I wanted to go over some of the incentives and rebates we got on some of our vehicles over at Dodge. On all Challengers and Chargers, we have up to 6.99 on approved credit at 72 months or $2,500 in rebates. Durangos, they're at 6.99 as well at 72 months. Our 23 Ram Bighorns, 2.9 for 72 months or 10% off MSRP. Following that, the Laramies are at 2.9 for 72 as well.
Wow.
Gladiators, we have employee pricing or 6.9 for 72 months. Our Compass Trailhawks, rates as low as 1.9 for 36 or 10% off MSRP. Grand Cherokee Limiteds, we got 5.9 for 72 or $4,500 in rebates.
Wow.
Grand Wagoneers, 5.9 for 72. So there's a lot of aggressive rebates and incentives out there right now.
These are not quite pre-level COVID, but you're getting there. It's kind of,
and it's all nice stuff, too.
Yeah.
Challengers, Durangos, trucks, a lot of off-road vehicles.
Yeah. Like I hear those numbers, I'm like, hey, we might hear that zero again one day. You know what I mean? Maybe that was something you used to market a lot, but then COVID hit, and I was like, zero what? zero chance you're hearing that again. But those, now we're seeing some under 5 there, 2.9. That's pretty good in this world we live in right now. So come take advantage of that. And like you said, if you've got the vehicles to bring them with you. Maybe you're one of those folks that bought a Ram pickup that, it's got the wrong wheels, or no, I wanted the one with the bigger engine, or I wanted the one, the diesel, or whatever. Bring it in. Let's put you in what you want, and let's sell that get a fair deal on the what you currently have that you're not quite what you want.
And an alternative, if that doesn't sound good enough for you, or for some reason the one that you wanted is sold or something we want to really get into at Richland is doing leases.
Okay.
If you don't want to do the 5 or 6.9 for 72 on a Challenger or something, come lease a Jeep.
Sure.
Lease it for a couple years, wait for interest rates to go back down, and then when it's time to turn it back in, then you can buy your car or the one you.
It's a great way if you're like, hey, I want to get a new car and I want to be a put, I can't afford that price tag right now, because leasing is a very good option on there. Obviously there's, you hear stories like, well, so many miles and all that, but to be honest, they're pretty. Like when I leased, I never came close to and I drive a fair amount, and so it's workable. I mean, yeah, if you're driving 3 hours every day to the oil field, and then you might want to carpool, but that there is some real sit down and talk with those leasing options, and then of course at the end of the lease you can buy it outright if you love it, or say, I'm tired, let's get a new one,
right?
And turn that bad boy in and lease another Jeep or pickup or whatever you're into there. So it's kind of, so if you just like the fact that you're driving a new vehicle all the time, it's kind of, you don't want the hassle and headache, being an owner, because that's the other part. Is while you lease it, you got to maintain it. So like, bring it in, the oil change. We're going to take care of it, but it's our car. We want it oil changed, and so it's maintained perfectly for that 3 years or how many years you own it there. Right. And at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, I love it. It's my car now. I like it, but I want it in blue. That's and 3 years newer. That's it. So it's really philosophy on how you like owning your vehicles and stuff. I know people that they'll do nothing but leases because they just love that the simplicity of it there. And then others like, no, I want to own it, and I want to own this. And 15 years later, when it's barely driving, and I've jumped 16 ditches with it and all that, that's when I'll call it good and go get a new one. It's whatever your philosophy is on that kind of stuff. But leasing is a very good option for some folks like that, and especially if you're like, I've always wanted my Wrangler, I've always wanted that whatever car you're after, and then that kind of maybe say, okay, I can't afford a sticker, but now I can at least get because your payment is actually usually a couple, it could be even a couple hundred cheaper a month depending on make and model and some of that stuff. So you buy like it's like people like you always see the commercials like the high end cars, your Alfa Romeos and stuff, and they're like, lease one now, because they don't tell you the price to buy it, but they always say you can lease one now for $499 a month. I was like, yeah, or own it for about $899 a month. So it's a really good option on that kind of thing. So what else? I started going over anything else. Or anything else we wanted to cover?
You always talk about service, and service has been great. They picked up their game every year. Keep going there. But one thing that people really haven't noticed too much is that we have 6 new bays in the back, and those are all set up for commercial. So if you have a commercial truck, 3,500, 4,500, 5,500.
One's out going in the oil field doing their thing.
We have service techs that can take care of that. We have bays that can take care of that. And
do they do even like fleet service for companies and stuff too? So if your company has a fleet service and there's need of mechanics and things, Richland might be able to help you out there.
We can do that, and we can now order and sell fleet and
good deal.
All that.
So if you need stuff and you're like, all right, you can go right through your local Richland dealership and get that taken care of. So good. Well, and that's something too. I know for a fact that other people come from outside to come talk to you guys, and because of how you do your dealings, and like during COVID, you saw a lot of markups on new vehicles. A new Ram pickup come in. Some dealerships are saying, yeah, they're in. Guess what? We're going to mark this bad boy up. Who wants it more?
Right.
And Richland was not doing that. They're saying, nope, they're keeping it this price. And that's why you had people from other states coming here to buy new vehicles, more so than other dealerships were experiencing. So that's the kind of stuff and we're talking about. So think about that. When you're going to make your vehicle purchase, think about history and how you're going to be treated and all that, and at the end of the day, I think you'll be very happy with the Richland experience. With and hence the reason that they want to say, all right, we'll see you next time, and when you're ready to buy that next vehicle.
Yeah.
So, good deal. Anything else we want to cover, or do we get it for this time?
No, I think we're good.
Freddie ain't gonna yell at you or anything like, y'all forgot this.
I mean, I just want to go out and let everybody know that the Dodge Boys are back.
Come on down.
We love that brand, and we're going to push the brand. So if you missed out on a Dodge Boy plate, come by and get one. We'll swap it out.
All right.
We'll get you badged up with the Dodge Boy brand.
Get you marked up and ready to go.
On the road. Yeah.
Excellent. And don't forget, if you bought a vehicle with Richland, doesn't matter what store, you're part of the brand champion family. Take advantage of that stuff. Right. That's the whole point of you've earned this is with that purchase. Come take advantage of it. You need to get your vehicle serviced there, ready for upgrades or ready for trade-in, or hey, I need a loaner while I get my car worked on. You're brand champion folks. We help out those kind of folks, and so that's.
Don't forget the lifetime powertrain that's back as well.
That's the other part I've been kind of sleeping on. That's a lifetime. That's as long as that vehicle's in your possession, they're going to cover the powertrain on that. So good deal. Well, thank you guys. I'm sure you're ready to. Y'all have like designated. Ooh, and I got a new Dodge Boys hat. Thank you. I have the Ground Zero guys swapped it out, but I had the old one. They had the
pig on it.
Yeah, and I flipped it, and it kind of looks like a yarmulke on my big fat head there. So it looked like I was a Jewish for pork kind of thing. But thank you very much. Very cool. So thank you guys. We'll see you next time. And,
yes, sir. Thanks for having us.
And don't stay cool this weekend. I know it's you guys got your. I'm sure you got your good cool spots when you're in the buildings. All right, it's quiet. There's my cool spot. I'll see you later. All right, it is 7:56. We need to pause for news and a quick break. Don't go away.
Now your Pecos Valley News update. Darn that pigeon poop. The marquee at the old Land of the Sun Theater caught fire Tuesday. Thankfully, damage was limited to the outside. There was no material fire damage inside the building, However, Artesia Daily Press is reporting firefighters said that the cause of the fire was built-up pigeon poop in this terrible heat that appears to have somehow caught fire. Artesia police are also investigating a burglary. It happened at the Pecos Diamond Steakhouse, 601 South 1st Street. Police used surveillance video to determine the break-in happened just after 4 in the morning Monday. Someone bashed in a door and took out about $47 in change. Detectives are trying to lift fingerprints or DNA to help with catching a suspect. But if you know anything, please call Artesia Police. And the price tag for cleaning up waste from the once top-secret Manhattan Project and subsequent Cold War-era nuclear research at Los Alamos National Laboratory has more than doubled in the last 7 years. An independent federal investigator says federal officials will have to do better to track the costs and progress. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
With Hollywood writers on strike, America's authors are lining up for one of the biggest and most costly lawsuits in history, with AI at the center. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by SimpliSafe. Save 20% off a new system with interactive monitoring at simplysafekim.com. As I predicted, America's authors, writers, composers, whose books, poetry, essays, and music were used without permission to train AI would sue. The time has come. The Authors Guild of America, acting on behalf of superstar writers like Margaret Atwood, Dan Brown, Michael Chabon, James Peterson, Philip Pullman, and thousands of others, has informed ChatGPT's maker OpenAI, Facebook's parent Meta, along with Google, IBM, and Microsoft, that while they've spent billions to teach AI everything it knows, it did it with stolen copyrighted works. In short, AI's teachers, and there are millions of them, want to be compensated, and they're 100% right. Hey, get Tech Smarts the easy and free way with my daily newsletter at getkim.com. Want to cut costs and get better control over your financials? Right now, you can defer payments on a full NetSuite implementation for 6 months. That's right, no payments and no interest for 6 months. This is a big deal. NetSuite by Oracle has never made an offer like this in its 25 years as the leading cloud financial system. 33,000 companies have already upgraded to NetSuite, gaining visibility and control over their financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. NetSuite has everything you need to reduce manual processes, boost efficiency, build forecasts, and increase productivity across every department. In fact, almost 90% of finance leaders agree that NetSuite helps them reduce manual data entry time. Whether your business generates millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, take advantage of this special financing offer of no payments or interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim for this special financing offer of no payments or interest for 6 months. netsuite.com/Kim.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
A judge in Florida has set a trial date for next May for former President Donald Trump in a case charging him with illegally retaining classified documents. The May 20th, 2024 trial date is a compromise between a request from prosecutors to set the trial for this coming December and a request from the defense lawyers to schedule it after the 2024 presidential election. Meanwhile, the news is not good for the Bidens. Iowa Republican Senator Charles Grassley releasing an unclassified document alleging then Vice President Biden, along with his son Hunter, that they allegedly coerced a Ukrainian businessman to pay them millions of dollars in exchange for their success in getting a prosecutor fired who was investigating the company. Also, at townhall.com, United States imposing more sanctions aimed at Russia.
The latest action targets roughly 120 companies and people in an effort to choke off Moscow's access to products, money, and financial channels that support its ongoing invasion of Ukraine. The sanctions imposed by the Treasury and State Departments target dozens of Russian mining, technology, and munitions firms and commercial banks, as well as companies in the United Arab Emirates and Kyrgyzstan. Greg Clugston, Washington.
In Britain, Conservative Party, they're suffering 2 defeats in a trio of special elections, but did hold on to former Premier Boris Johnson's seat in suburban London. Labour Party and the smaller Liberal Democrats overturned some Conservative majorities in the races to win a seat apiece. The defeats don't mean a change of government, since the Conservatives still have a big majority in the House of Commons. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
The federal court judge, I don't think is unreasonable or really something.
Everybody wants cheap airfare.
But Tennessee
where do you
Republican
find it?
Senator Marcia Blackburn says it's not Congress' place to set a code of ethics for the Supreme Court.
We've got 3 branches of government, and the court can tend to this. This is not our place.
That legislation, by the way, is seen as having very little chance of actually making it through the full Senate. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Recall from Tesla.
Tesla recalling nearly 16,000 of its 2021 to 2023 Model S and Model X vehicles because some front row seatbelts may not have been reconnected properly following a repair. Tesla said in its safety recall report that on the impacted vehicles, a first row seatbelt was disconnected from its pretensioner anchor as part of a necessary step to perform a repair. But the seatbelt may not have been reconnected to its pretensioner anchor properly after the repair was complete. John Scott report.
The screenwriters and actors strike is branching out, not only in L.A. and New York, but rallies held yesterday, also in Philadelphia and Chicago. A legend is gone. Tony Bennett has died. Considered to be one of the greatest singers in the business, he had continued to perform in his early 90s. Tony Bennett was 96. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday.
Yeah, buddy. We did it, everybody.
A new and wonderful time. Yes. Happy Friday, everybody.
Indeed. Welcome to it.
It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
A beautiful day for a neighbor.
And it's a McDonald's fried chicken.
Yes.
Big thank you to McDonald's giving us the tech and fuel that we need to get us through our day.
That's what it was. The Boys. Simon Pegg is in The Boys.
That's right. He plays the dad.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're right.
Was it the Butcher? Or Butcher's
no, not the Butcher.
No, it's Huey's dad. Huey's
Huey.
dad.
Yeah, Huey.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, I knew I'd seen him as somebody's dad because we were watching a thing and they were talking about Simon Pegg stands in support of the strike.
Yeah.
What's going on right now?
But I felt like they did him up old like that on purpose. I didn't realize that he kind of looked like we were just watching the writers' strike thing on the Fox News channel. I guess they're striking in England too because they're writers.
Well, they're standing in support.
Yes,
SAG-AFTRA. Yeah.
Yeah, the SAG. But so Simon Pegg, who's is over there. So there's interview clips from him, and I guess they're in England at one of the protests, and we were just like, man, Simon Pegg looks old. Right. But I always thought in The Boys, like they kind of
aged him up.
Yeah, I didn't think like he really was that. And then I saw that one, I was like, well, dang, maybe they didn't.
Well, and this could be Simon Pegg. Maybe before the strike was getting himself ready for a role.
Yeah.
It's always interesting when you see like an actor who like just did a thing,
right,
but is getting ready for their next thing, and they
so
go
they're
on like
either
Letterman
gaining
or
excess
Leno,
amount of weight or growing
Fallon.
facial hair or whatever.
Yeah. And so they go on like one of these late night talk shows, and you're like, why do you look so weird?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a role you're doing.
Well, I mean, that was Tom Hanks in the 90s. You know?
that was Tom Hanks in the 90s. That was also Tom Hanks going into, or was it Tom Hanks, the Elvis movie? No, it's not Tom Hanks. Who plays
the kid that plays Elvis?
No, the guy that plays what's his name?
Tom Parker? That's Hanks.
Was it Hanks?
That plays Colonel Tom?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's Hanks.
But he really sunk himself into that role, and like you'd see him on like Fallon or like one of the late night talk shows. You're like, Tom Hanks is looking weird.
Oh yeah, the whale movie.
Yeah.
He did that. But back when like Castaway and all that, Tom Hanks lost the incredible amount of weight and grew the facial hair and all that, and so he was like a bit doing the Conans and all that, and he'd show up looking like this weird dude. You're like, what's for a movie?
It's crazy when you find out like what actors actually go through to get themselves ready for roles. Like the one that stands out in my mind is Kumail Nanjiani. He's the nerdy. He's the geeky Indian character in like everything from like back in the day.
Okay.
But he was up for a role in a Marvel movie.
So he had to like bulk up.
And not bulk up. He got like the R word I can't say anymore.
Okay.
Swole. Like he got
like roided up.
You'd know him if I showed you a picture. Let me find
Arnold
a picture.
in Mr. Olympus days. Okay.
He did. Let's see, Kumail Nanjiani before and after. But yeah, just the depths that actors go through to get ready for a role. Yeah, there you go. That's him before and after.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, he was a schlubby Indian kid, and then he's just got like pecs, abs.
Yeah, now he looks like the Hulk.
Bis and tries.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie?
Turn the mic on.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I did. The Eternals.
Have you seen the movie that he was in?
It was good. He only had like 2 scenes.
You
did all that for 2 scenes?
And he was wearing like a shirt the whole time.
He's wearing a costume, and you don't even get to see any of the work he put in.
Right.
Was it
So it was
a bigger
all for
role?
nothing.
Like, is he getting a bigger role in the thing later?
Potentially, there could be another Eternals.
Okay,
It was an okay movie. I mean, it did open up the MCU a bit as to like it's now more of a galactic thing than it is just on Homeworld.
Well, speaking of galactic, the dude from Guardians of the Galaxy, another perfect example of weight. And all
Chris
that.
Pratt, exactly.
Chris Pratt, yeah. Pratt was kind of a pudge boy.
He was the pudgy boyfriend on Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, and now he's a heartthrob.
And he turned into Swole Lord.
Yeah, and all of a sudden the women are like, "You're so dreamy." Yes, it went overnight success. So.
Did you get another hat for your collection?
I did. The Dodge Boys gave me a new hat.
Oh dang! For somebody who wears exclusively cabbie hats now, you're amassing quite the selection.
I
of
still like to bust out a ball cap every once in a while. I'll go that way. I might do my the whole Sherlock Holmes thing I was talking about.
Front backwards.
Just front backwards.
I feel like with a hat, now that you're amassing quite a selection of cabbie hats, I feel like you need to take up golf. Like that's the next inevitable step.
I don't have the patience
in your evolution.
I start to play it and then I lose interest real quick. it's not my thing.
Well, see, I'm the same way. I don't like golf per se, but I think it's also they drink. I mean, so there's that.
I feel like I can do all those things without walking around.
I can do that on my couch.
Yeah, it's like I don't need to.
I can do that alone on a Tuesday.
I can wear a hat and drink a beer in my house by myself.
That's called a problem.
Tomato.
That's right. I've been all this week. I've been reviewing on Facebook and different videos these hard Mountain Dews that a friend of mine named Amy got me from Iowa.
Yes,
but like Mountain Dew, but like with alcohol added.
Right, like a.
And it's sinking in. I'm like, I'm just a sad dude drinking on my couch alone. This might be problematic.
I ain't turn the camera on.
I'm doing it for the reviews.
There
all
you
right.
Go. Hey, you're jobbing. With
That's right.
You put it on it.
This is a career.
That's
okay?
right.
That's what I'm after.
But with the Eternals thing, that reminded me of Robert Pattinson saying he's not gonna, he wasn't gonna bulk up for
the Batman.
For the Batman, and which because really it's steroids that's making these guys like Chris Pratt.
And they all Kumail Nanjiani came out after like the swole pictures came out and said, I could not have done this if I was a regular person. I have had hundreds of thousands of dollars of personal training, of dietitians, of people monitoring me every second of the day. There's no way I could pull this off as a regular person.
Yeah. And that's true with 99.9% of the how that goes.
Which you appreciate that he actually,
Which is code for I got juiced and I can't say it legally. And my favorite part of that is that he opens up his fridge and he's got all this beet juice in the fridge.
Yeah.
And he says beet juice was his secret.
Right. Which, if beet juice does make the steroids go down a lot faster. It's a chaser.
That's the whole beet juice.
You rub a little beet juice on the needle wound.
How desperate were you for food that you drank the juice of a beet?
The only way I will eat or consume beets is if they're pickled. That's it.
I know some people love beets. Love them. Not mine.
That's what I said. That's what I'm saying is that nobody believed he was that he couldn't do that in a year.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, it's beet juice, and I got to come up with something.
If you can buy it.
Physically angry as a person when I go to a buffet and they have beets on the buffet like a salad bar and they're not pickled. What's wrong with you?
Well,
how dare you put out regular beets?
I know people that love them.
What's wrong with you? God.
And my dad likes beets.
I beat feet when I see them.
Gotta get all the beats.
Yeah. All right, it is 8:14. Probably should get our interview going. We're gonna play our interview. Andrew Moore with the Roswell Chamber joined us on Wednesday to give us an update on some things coming up. So we'll play that for you here in just a few minutes. But before we do that, the good news, bad news fairy with the weather.
Yep.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather, 100 to 105 for the afternoon high today. We have dry air in place for now, so we're expecting some sunshine. Overnight, a few clouds and low 70s, and then we get a mix of sunshine and clouds Saturday morning, sunny in the afternoon, upper 90s to low 100s. Slim chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Saturday night and down to about 70, 100 to 105, and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 73 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 41%. Winds are out of the northeast at 6 miles per hour. We are expecting highs of 102 today under sunny skies. Winds will be out of the east 5 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 72 degrees. Southeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 97. So sub 100. Haven't said that much, so that's nice. Winds will be out of the east at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, there is a slight chance, 20% chance at showers and thunderstorms, mainly before midnight. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 72. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny skies, 101 for the high, northeast winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour, and then sunny on Monday. Highs once again right around 105. All right, it is 16 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a quick 3-minute commercial break, and then we'll play our interview with Andrea Moore from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce. Don't go away. That's on the other side. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Edge Safety and Services, LLC, Artesia, New Mexico, has an immediate opening for a safety technician. Position FFA. They salute the hard work of Chavez and Eddy County's 4-H and FFA and are proud to see young people succeed. Don't miss the Eddy County Fair July 23rd through the 29th and the Chavez County Fair July 25th through the 29th. Trans Aero Medevac, a proud supporter of the Chavez and Eddy County 4-H and FFA programs. They really are wings for life.
I once read, sometimes God will put you in a battle empty-handed so that when you get the victory, you'll know it wasn't you but Him. That made me think of the story of David and Goliath. David went into battle with 5 stones and a slingshot against a giant who had a sword and a spear. David was basically empty-handed. No one on his side thought he could win, and certainly the enemies didn't believe in him. What's funny about this story is that David probably didn't believe he could win either, at least not without God. He proclaims to the giant and to all of those who would listen these words, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord. All of those gathered here will know that it's not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's." You see, David didn't need to know Goliath's strengths because he already knew God's. No matter what battle you face in your life, God is there to bring you through. It's not our strength that is important. It's leaning on the strength of our God.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
In studio this morning, Executive Director for the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, Andrea Moore, back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Pretty good. It's going to be another hot one, so
This is ridiculous.
if you've got a pool, get in it.
I will say this. The AC at the chamber is working good. So,
Yes.
So it's nice and cool in there if you need to go in there for
Absolutely.
a visit.
In fact, I actually had to turn it up because I had
It's too frosty in
I
here.
had frozen fingers yesterday and had to go outside.
It was like, oh,
to
it's
thaw out.
chilly in here. I'm going to go out.
And it was even set at like 71.
That's amazing.
And it was still like
Nice.
freezing. There were
Good deal.
icicles. It was nice.
Good. Well, good. So if you need a business at the chamber and looking for a place to cool off for a minute,
Yes.
good place to drop by, pop in here. But,
Absolutely.
Chamber's pretty busy.
We are.
Lots going on, and lots been going on, and lots continue to go on.
I'm
here,
so excited. So first and foremost, there are 2 weeks left to get your applications in for Leadership Roswell.
July 31st is the deadline.
5 p.m. If it's not in, then too bad, so sad. You're going to have to wait till next year.
Yep. And the chamber website has the applications. You can download it right now.
RoswellNM.org. You can go main page. Right next to it, there's a button that says Applications for Leadership Roswell. Click on it. It'll take you to our Survey Monkey. You can fill out all the information and submit it. Or you can come to the office and we'll give you a paper copy.
Yeah, and then you can fill it out.
Turn it back in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I say this every time. Please allow yourself some time to
Yes.
fill out that application. There are questions that do require a thought-provoking answer. If you they ask questions like, "What do you think Roswell's greatest problem is?" And they want you to say something more than crime, and then leave them.
Yeah.
If it's crime, great, but what specifically? What is going on? They want to see how you think and what you know.
And it doesn't have to be a dissertation.
Yeah.
But you can say crime and in 2 sentences be clear and concise about what you mean about crime. So don't feel that when you're filling out this application that it has to be like this 20-page paper.
Sure.
But yes, be clear and concise because there is a panel that is outside of my control. The Chamber of Commerce does not select the people that go to the class. But the executive director, Rick Kraft, has a really well-oiled machine, and he's got a committee of people that read through every application.
And it's different every year, I believe.
It is.
Yeah.
And it is to my understanding that the identifying information like your name is blacked out. So the committee doesn't know whose applications they're reading. So it's nice and fair. And the top 30 get in.
Yeah, and generally, more than 30 apply.
Yes.
But there's only room for 30. So whether there's 35 that apply or 65 that apply, only 30
Correct.
are getting in. But don't hesitate to brag on yourself in this.
Yes, please do.
And it's not a bad idea. I did it, and I know
Ditto. I
others,
did too.
Others that have done the same. But if you want to attach recommendations, like if you have a boss, or if you happen to know, a mayor or a city councilor or a judge or someone of influence.
Yes.
That would be willing to write a recommendation letter for you. Those do help.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to mention is if you have applied in the past and were not accepted, reapply, you get added weight.
Yes.
Because you've applied in the past. So that's actually helps you. So sometimes it takes 3 times. We've had a couple people take 3 or 4 to get in.
Yeah.
But they keep at it. You will get in. They want to get you in. It's just a matter of room sometimes.
Absolutely. And also apply this year, because even though we only have seats for 30, inevitably there's sometimes up to 3 people that out of no circumstances of their own, that something opens up. And if it's pretty quickly within the year, then Rick will give you a call and say, hey, Joe Schmo, we need you to come on. Are you still interested? Come on in and join.
And sometimes it happens because they don't realize the time commitment. Now, you're committed to, once if you're accepted into the class, you're committed to a Friday a month. Usually it's the first Friday, but depending on...
Yeah, it's one Friday a month for 9 months, with the exception of in January, there is an overnight trip to Santa Fe, which is typically a Monday, Tuesday, because then you get to go up there, you meet all of the legislators, you see the state Supreme Court, and then that Monday night, there is a big legislative reception that is hosted by the Santa Fe Chamber of Commerce, where Leadership Roswell gets to go, and then it's another opportunity to see not only our local elected legislators, but then legislators and lobbyists and businesses from around the state that you may not have access to. And then typically in the spring, usually March, April-ish, there's one Wednesday that you take to go to Artesia, to go to FLETC and see everything that FLETC does.
Yeah, but it's really cool. And you get, and the whole point of this class is A, learning leadership skills, but B, it's a networking thing where you really, you're going to make 30 friends by the time, or 29 friends here by the time you're done with the year. And then, of course, the learning about your community side. You learn all facets from city government to county government to state government to some of our big businesses in town.
To the industries that we have in
like
southeastern New Mexico.
And these other
absolutely.
Government entities and things. You get to see how the sausage is made, and that's really a valuable information to have. So if this all sounds like something that would be beneficial to you, come by the chamber or go to the website. Get that application and then fill it out and turn it in before 5 p.m. on July 31st.
Which is a Monday.
Okay.
I think, which
so
is a Monday. So
you do have a weekend before to last minute dot your I's and cross your T's if you want to use that. But all I can tell you is don't download the application an hour before you're supposed to turn it in and then whip it out real quick. It's going to take some time, and allow yourself a few hours to sit down and really think and construct some answers and things that would be, again, this is, and like you said earlier, the people that are making the selection know nothing but what's in that packet.
Correct.
And so they're basing it solely on what you put in there. So sell yourself.
And they're not going to know who your name is, so it doesn't matter if you're a name brand in town. They're just going to see what you have filled out in the application.
Yeah. And then Rick calls everyone and tells them,
congratulations.
In or not even in, he calls everybody.
In fact, I remember the year I got called, I thought for sure I was getting, we looked over your application and unfortunately you didn't make so I was prepared to be like, man. And he goes, well, congratulations, you're in the class. And I was like, holy smokes, you want me out of all people in town?
Yeah.
And it was an experience for sure. I've made some lifelong friends out of it, because you walk in day one, have no idea what's going to happen for the next year of your life with these people. And very quickly, you make some really good friends.
Yeah. But, the July 31st is the deadline, and then in August, they'll have a reception, and they'll start classes shortly thereafter here. So it's going to get fast and furious once that July 31st. Yeah, we're excited.
Woohoo!
But now's the time. Get your applications turned in.
Yes, please do.
Good deal. What's next we want to put on the radar?
Then the next thing we have is next Tuesday, 11:30 at the Chamber, is our education luncheon.
Good deal.
Because we've started to roll out a lot of our pre-COVID programming that we had. Well, we've expanded on a lot of those programs, and one of the new ones is our education luncheon next Tuesday, 11:30 at the Chamber. Please RSVP, only because I need to know how much food to have.
For head count for food.
It's free to the community, and we've got major General Grizzle,
Okay.
NMMI.
He's a superintendent there at the
Yes.
at the institute.
And there's all kinds of awesome things going on at the institute, so you'll want to come and get updated.
We our family got to do a tour back about a month ago when they were in town, and you can kind of see because they're right in the middle. They're during the off season they're remodeling and renovating some of the dorms and bathrooms and stuff, and so we were seeing some of that going on.
Lots of offices are moving around. Different departments are in different buildings now. And then we've got Dr. Sean Powell with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell campus that's going to be there. And Brian Luck, our superintendent from RISD. So we're going to get a really good, well-rounded update on the things that are going on as far as education.
And that's planned that Tuesday each month there, and if it's not those three, it could be other educators too, maybe the Gateway or, something just.
We would love to have any of the educators, whether you're private school, public school, down in the valley, like Arthur, Dexter, Hagerman.
Absolutely.
Because education hits all of us, whether you have a kid or not. We need to know what's going on with education because at some point those are going to be the new leaders.
And the educators want to make sure that they have that steady connection with because they want you to know when things are changing at the
and why
campus
things are happening the way they are because
why the school district's doing things a certain way. Yeah, absolutely.
Things happen within the schools that you go from the outside looking in. Why are you doing that? That seems ridiculous. And once you start talking to the administrators or even just the teachers themselves, then you understand, that's why that's happening.
Sure.
Or you can even get input and go, we kind of need help with change, but change won't happen unless everybody knows that this needs to be changed.
Sure.
Go talk to the school board. Go talk to those that are in charge and say, hey, I'm advocating for this change.
Absolutely. And obviously the education field constantly evolves and upgrades.
Every day.
How we went to school when we were kids is way different than how kids go to school today. And that's parents need to know that difference because if you're thinking like when you went to school, your kids aren't experiencing the things you did.
It is nothing that. And I laugh all the time because my kids will bring different things home and I'm like, that's what you're learning? Like when I was your age and they're like, Mom, the typical teenage roll your eyes. Mom, that's so dumb. That's not what, okay.
Yeah, that's what we
Then I go and find out, well, why is that the way it is?
Congratulations. You got it more awesome.
That's right.
But that'll be coming up Tuesday of next week.
And it'll be the last Tuesday of the month. Every month going forward is our education lunch.
Very good. So whether it's the 5th or 4th Tuesday, it's the
whatever
last one
the last Tuesday of the month is, it'll be education.
Perfect.
Then we roll back to the beginning of the month. The first week of the month is kind of our odd week. Wednesday, so the first Wednesday of every month is our chat with Chaves County. Luncheon. Once again, all of our lunches start at 11:30. Our doors open at 11:30, so you can come in, get something to eat. And I typically give about 10-15 minutes for everybody to stuff their faces.
Settled,
and then the speaker will start. And I really work hard at trying to be done about 1:45. So that way everybody can be back in the office by 1 o'clock. But we allow that extra time if we're having really good discussions and really good questions.
And a lot of times some people are like, well, I don't have to be back quite yet. And they want to chat with the speaker. And you get a few extra minutes to pull them aside afterwards and talk.
And so Chat with Chaves County is just that we've got the county manager will be on hand. And going forward, it could be a mixture of county commissioners and county department heads. Anybody that has information to give you an update on what is going on at the county.
Yeah. Like I imagine from time to time you're going to want to talk to the road people because they've got some important things
want to know what's going on.
Or definitely talk to maybe like the trash removal, that side of things. And, all of the logistics of making a county go, there's a department head that's got a budget and a bunch of equipment to make sure that happens.
Exactly. And ask the question. And they want the community to come and ask the questions because then once again, that helps, especially the county commission, be able to go in a direction and write policies that are helping the county out.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is the feedback commissioners and so forth want. Your elected officials want to hear from you, the public. So, they have their opinions and things, obviously, but But at the end of the day, sorry, folks, they work at the will of the people.
They do.
And that's what they do.
And so the transverse is also true. If there's something going on that you don't like, ask those questions, express those opinions, tell people what you're thinking, because once again, it may be that they don't have that feedback and they're like, oh, okay, well, if we would have known, we would do something different. So that's what these programs are for. Please, community, come out.
They're free.
They are.
And if you want to know what's going on in your backyard,
and I'm going to feed you.
These are great opportunities to do that. And yeah, like you said, thank you to our food partners when they show up to help us out on these.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that. But next Tuesday will be the education one, and then the Wednesday?
First Wednesday
after that
is Chat with Chaves County. Yeah. Then that's where we go back to our Tuesday programming. The second Tuesday of every month is a morning breakfast that is sponsored by McDonald's. So thank you, McDonald's and Nick Snowberger, for sponsoring Good Morning Roswell, formerly known as Mornings with the Mayor.
Hey, I know these are not a breakfast thing, but if they got a cookies and cream pie right now.
Oh, I saw that.
It's 110% delicious.
Okay.
We had one for breakfast last Friday, and tell Nick to just slap a few of them bad boys on there. I don't care if it's 7 in the morning. Put a couple in there.
Okay.
You will be thankful.
All right, Nick, you're on notice. You'll be getting that text message.
I love the blueberry cream pie limited edition. This one might surpass that.
Okay.
I really love this one too.
So Good Morning Roswell, once again, that's the city version. So our city manager comes in. We've had quite a number of different city councilors show up. And once again, city department heads come in and out. And so they can give the update on what has happened in the city. And the second Tuesday of the month is kind of halfway in between the previous city council and the next city council.
Because generally they meet on the second Thursday.
Correct.
Unless there's something that changes that. But that's typically when they meet.
Yeah, so come in, ask questions. You'll get updated on what has happened at the previous city council
and I imagine
what's going
if there's
on.
A big meeting coming up 2 days later, they're going to talk a lot about that.
Absolutely.
If they've got an agenda or proposal that's going to be coming out, especially ones where there's a lot of debate on, then this is a chance for you to talk and hear, there's always a few issues that city council do that garner, a response. And so this is a chance for everyone to learn, talk, and at least be on the same page about it.
Yeah, and once again, ask your questions. I'm telling you, I am that person. I ask the hard questions, or what would be deemed controversial in some respects, and they're more than happy to ask those questions, to answer the questions that I have and inform you of what's going on. Then after the following Tuesday, so the third Tuesday of every month is then our sheriff's social luncheon, where the sheriff and the sheriff's department shows up and they come and, give the update on what is going on within the sheriff's department. And in fact, we just had our sheriff's social luncheon yesterday, and Sheriff Harrington brought in 5 of his new deputies. Okay. They're getting ready to go off to the Law Enforcement Academy.
Okay, so they're about to, I guess, Hobbs, I'm assuming.
Correct. And it's a 16-week course. When they come out, then they are a full-fledged deputy.
But even then, they don't just say, here's a car and go be a cop.
Correct.
They shadow
They're
with a
still
police
training.
officer, I think, for like another 6 months or so.
Yeah.
And things before they are finally, left to be full-fledged on their own.
And there is the 5 deputies that the sheriff brought in is a great mix of men and women.
Okay.
And ages from 21 up to, I think, 45.
Oh, they got a few seasoned folks that are going
one
to
of
be,
the deputies is former military.
Okay.
So has transitioned from the military life into the law enforcement life and is loving every minute of it so far.
Good deal.
So,
we need people like that that want to serve and help. That's the common thread here, is these are all people that want to help people in the community.
yeah. And next month, the sheriff says he's going to bring his dogs.
Oh, cool.
So
The
if
K9
you
unit.
want to know how the K9 units work and operate and how they're trained and what they're trained for, then next month is the time to come.
And it's kind of an interesting thing because they kind of got these dogs at a time where what they were training them for, they had to almost change up because, and I'm talking about cannabis, because a lot of these dogs were trained to detect cannabis and things, and since it's going legal, or it was going legal at the time when they were doing this, they were like, well, this is kind of a moot point. We don't need, so their dogs were trained, so their sniffer dogs are trained, but they're trained to look for the fentanyl and those things.
Correct.
And not marijuana, which, because it's legal now. So
exactly.
That's kind of a unique circumstance that at the time that we were adopting canines back into the fold here, was that time it's like, well, we kind of got to train them different a little bit because they're not looking for the same things they were looking for before.
And to see the demonstration when they go and show how the dogs go and scout out what they're trained to find is just to me, at least, it's fascinating.
It is cool. Yeah, and I like pets and dogs and things.
Absolutely.
So I just, it's great they're working dogs. I just want to roll around the floor and play with them.
Yeah. And of course, all of our programming is on our website, roswellnm.org. We do post it out on social media, so please like and share all of our programming. If you are a member and you are not getting our weekly emails, contact us at the chamber. We'll be more than happy to get you on there, because I understand that, personnel changes, emails change, so we just want to make sure we've got the most updated information for you.
Yeah, so if you get them or don't get them, and you've been like, hey, I used to get them, now I don't get them, please just give us a call. We'll be happy. It's like, we'll make sure that maybe addresses got moved or changed, or
exactly,
or whatever, life happens, but we'll make sure we can get that so you can get the weekly blast when they come out, usually on Fridays, but sometimes there's a Monday one or a Thursday one as needed. But
if we know that Friday isn't going to work, we may send out the email a little earlier, or we may send it out a little later.
Or send a bonus one or a second one. Like you'll send your Friday one out, and then something comes up on the radar after that, and you're like, all right, don't forget Tuesday, this popped up. Don't
exactly.
So, yeah.
And then we just got a new membership. Texas Roadhouse has finally signed up. They've been a little busy this last year, and some new management positions have come open.
Okay.
So they have become members, and they've started on Wednesdays their kids' night out.
Oh, cool.
So go on Wednesdays, be a part of the kids' night out. Kids eat for free. And
let me know if they volunteer to be one of the luncheon sponsors.
I'm actually working on that.
It's like we're having steak for lunch.
Yeah. In fact, and I have reached out. I'm reaching out to our members. So once again, if you and you don't have to be a member, but if you would like to sponsor one of our lunches, please contact me. We would be more than happy to, because we put your graphic, your logo on any of the information that we push out. Like, for example, with our Good Morning Roswell, McDonald's logo is all over everything. We start off the morning saying, thank you, McDonald's and Nick Snowberger, for all the wonderful breakfast.
Yeah.
I think I forgot to say that the Good Morning Roswell starts at 7 a.m.
Yes, it is a morning one.
That is a morning breakfast.
The rest are lunchtime. The city one is a morning, and it's kind of a spin-off of the Mornings with the Mayor segment.
Correct, and that's why we kept it at breakfast time, because that's what everybody was used to.
It's basically that, but on steroids. Now it's the whole city, not just the mayor.
And it gets, us up and going, and now that school's going to start next month, then that's even more of a reason to get up and get going. I know. Poor kiddos over there. La, 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 la. My kids are doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Parents are rejoicing all over.
I'm always sad when my kids go to school.
Yeah.
I'm actually the opposite parent, that I cry on the first day because I miss my kids.
Sure.
Even as teenagers, they are a pain in the butt, and you want to absolutely especially girls, you just want to strangle the life out of them. But then I'm so excited on the last day of school.
And quieter, and you're like, I kind of miss the
I miss
family
the chaos.
around. Yeah,
I love it. I do love the kids.
I get what you're saying. If that's your world, and you're in it, and then you're sitting there, and it's like, all right, crickets chirping. This is weird. So yeah, I get that. That
especially
makes
as teenagers, because we've got like 1.5 kids out of the house now. My son has moved to Lubbock, and he's doing whatever 19-year-old boys do, which I can only imagine, and moms don't need concrete proof.
Some things are, it's the head in the sand, ignorance is bliss kind of.
But he's a good kid, but it's different to not have him around.
Yeah.
And then My second oldest has graduated from high school. She's starting college classes.
So you're about to be an empty nester here.
It's so weird.
In a few years, yeah.
It's so weird. My mom always said, hold on to them because before you know it, and when you're in the mix of the chaos, when you have 4 kids from 1 to 6, you don't ever believe that it's going to end. There's lots of crying and gnashing of teeth, and you're like, oh my gosh, what did we get ourselves into? And now my youngest is 13 and the oldest is 19, and it's like, oh my, where did the time go?
Sure.
And so we love it.
So does that mean that 13-year-old is going to get spoiled more now that because when they get the youngest and they're the only one left, everyone else is going off to the thing,
because she just filled out her application for the institute and she's been accepted. So this will be her last year.
So she won't even be in the house.
She won't be in the house.
At least she'll be like every weekend.
Yeah,
she'll be home for laundry
so the
and all that.
first and the last kids have both now will be going to an MMI. And it is different because she'll be gone during the week.
Yeah, you won't see her except weekends or whenever.
I know it'll be different because hopefully we won't have another pandemic where, like, my son, poor kid, was in prison for a year and a half.
He was locked in, and you really couldn't see him or visit him,
Well, that's why we were involved with the Parents Club and stuff at the Institute, because then we got some extra.
Makes sense. Well, you were probably COVID tested, so it gave you a little bit more access.
So we'd show up with pizzas.
Yeah.
And I'd go into the office and say, okay, I've got 25 pizzas. And they'd be like, okay, go drop them off over in this location. And then they would tell. Or you figure out how to launch burritos into the kids' rooms. You call them, you're like, okay, I'm doing a drive-by. And they'd be out on the other side.
Can't they move you to the first floor? Right? It's the third floor nonsense. My arm's not that strong.
But I learned how to do that when my brother went. So,
Well, I'm sure that, it's college.
Yeah.
It's a college/high school. There are ins and outs on how to do everything in a place like that. That's just, if you live there 24/7 with a bunch of students, it's it's different but the same.
Exactly.
It's no different than prison ingenuity. You know how they get in there and they can make these amazing things? I mean, it's different, but when you're together in a thing and you got to make the day work, there's ways you figure out how things happen, and intercommerce system. I mean, it's no different than in the military. It's no different in college. It's no different in any of those scenarios.
But that's also why you need to know your educators and your administration, because I would make a phone, because I always did it the right way.
Yeah.
Because I'd see parents that did it the wrong way and it would aggravate me.
Right.
And I always did it the right way. I'd make a phone call and say, okay, I just did a huge Sam's Club visit. I'm going to come pull in and my kid's going to come pick up everything. And they'd be like, okay, that's fine. And so I'd call my son and he'd bring his little wagon down. I'd pop the back of my car and I'd sit in the car and he'd unload everything. And then he'd have, his month's worth of ramen, water, tea.
It's a weird time, wasn't it?
It was.
It's hard to think about it like that again. And like, what's the norm? And then, it's just, it's now.
And then he did get sick and we brought him home. And then that was a whole nother thing, because then he comes home so he can, because, he didn't want to be in the infirmary.
Sure.
And at that time during COVID, if you were local, they sent you home because they just needed to make sure they had room
for
in
bed space and everything. Yeah,
so he came home. Well, then he goes back after he's well. He had to quarantine and test and I don't think it was quite 2 weeks, but he had to test until he was
and that was
positive.
during that time too, when even like you went out and you had to test. Remember, all
it
of
was
us
awful.
Don't go to work unless you had 3 days after a negative test. All that other nonsense they're telling us. Yeah, all that.
But yeah, it was prison. So my first and last kids will both be at the Institute, and then my second to the youngest is a freshman this year. So yeah, it's going to get weird at our house real quick because I enjoy the chaos.
Well,
I enjoy all of the kids.
If they were just a little younger, one of them might even maybe hit the prep school there.
That's what she was saying. She's like, how come they couldn't have done this?
Yeah, just missed that window. But
because she would have.
Yeah. Of course, you would still see them at night at the prep school.
Yes.
Which is if you're all looking for a great middle school experience, they're just starting with sixth grade this year. They're doing a preparatory academy, and I'm assuming they're still taking applications and things. But it's just sixth grade this year, and then next year it'll be sixth and seventh grade,
and then 6, 7, 8.
So basically, this first class of sixth graders, we're going to follow them through till high school. And then we'll add the classes afterwards. So this will be the first graduating class of the Preparatory Academy this year. So that's pretty cool. But it is a day.
And you're going to learn all about that next week at the Education Luncheon at the Chamber at 11:30.
General Grizzle will be happy to tell you all about it.
He would love to. I know he's been working on this for a long time.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's a dream come true.
Matter of fact, we have a great interview we did about a month ago. And I invite you to go back and check it out, talking all about the Preparatory Academy and things like that. It's a really good interview and really talks about what they're doing, why it was done this way, and how they're doing it. So it's really cool.
Yeah, so come out next Tuesday, 11:30. Come to the Chamber. I feed you.
Call ahead to get to RSVP so she can order enough food for everybody.
Correct.
And because we hate to be that guy, we all have to eat less because you forgot to call. Now I get half a sandwich. No, I don't want that. I want my whole sandwich.
Wow. I promise you there will be enough food. I come from a large family. I over order.
Right.
Although yesterday,
mess with people.
They ate everything.
Yeah?
It was
a famished group, huh?
We had we literally had the perfect amount of food.
Nice.
I think I have 3 bags of chips left, and I think there were 2 cookies.
Wow.
So
well-timed and planned.
That's right. So if you want to eat, call me and we'll have food for you.
Yeah.
Or hot breakfast, as the case may be.
Yeah.
And of course, if you are a business, we are open for business after hours.
Mm-hmm.
You just call us and let us know. And this fall, be looking for our paid programs of Lunch and Learns, where we bring in somebody that has a specialty that's going to give you
could be HR expert. Could be a social media
identity
expert,
theft, something that's going on at the hospitals, things like that, that very specialized lunches where you're going to learn something.
Things where like small businesses could utilize a lot of these resources, things that corporations just have a department for.
Yes.
That a small business generally doesn't, you got one person or 2 people and that's your business. These are workshops designed for you to get some of the resources that the big companies have without having to have a whole department to do that.
Now, of course, that's going to be paid, and we're still working out all the details.
Being a chamber member.
That's right. And if you're a chamber member, you get deep discounts on those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, well, you should be.
Yeah, absolutely. So please call or check out the website, do a little research.
575-623-5695 or roswellnm.org.
I'm going to get that right one day. I can never remember that right. I'm always got govs or
just Google Roswell Chamber of Commerce.
That's what I do.
It comes right up.
It's roswellnm.org is the
and
website.
My cell phone number is out there. If for some reason we're not in the office or we're on the other line and you go to voicemail, send me a text. And I will answer you back.
Yeah, and Facebook and Instagram we're pretty regular on. So if you shoot a message on one of those social medias,
we try to get back to you because there's only 2 of us in the office right now. So there are times that Kyle and I are out of the office now and in the community. So there may be times that the doors are locked. But if you call us, we will definitely get back to you.
Absolutely. So, but reach out, shoot a message.
Please do.
Come on out. Again, the first meeting of which we speak will be next Tuesday, 11:30 at the Chamber. That's going to be our education spotlight here.
Yes.
Call or shoot a message to the Chamber to get a RSVP so we have enough food for everybody.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Well, as always, appreciate the visit.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll see you in a couple weeks.
All righty.
Stay cool. I know it's easier said than done.
Go get air conditioning, and pools are a good thing today.
Hopefully Nimi's doing okay with their air conditioning. I mean, I was in there, it was a little warm in some of them buildings, but you forget, they renovate and remodel, but those buildings are old. Some of those buildings.
And they may not have the air conditioning on because nobody's there, too.
There's nobody there, too, and so I'm hoping they're faring okay, especially for people that have to live there.
Oh, bless their hearts. And those kids are starting to show up here pretty quick.
Yeah, they'll be doing Rat Week and all that here before you know it. So, all right, it is 9.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. Darn that pigeon poop. The marquee at the old Land of the Sun Theater caught fire Tuesday. Thankfully, damage was limited to the outside. There was no material fire damage inside the building. However, Artesia Daily Press is reporting firefighters said that the cause of the fire was built-up pigeon poop in this terrible heat that appears to have somehow caught fire. Artesia police are also investigating a burglary. It happened at the Pecos Diamond Steakhouse, 601 South 1st Street. Police used surveillance video to determine the break-in happened just after 4 in the morning Monday. Someone bashed in a door and took out about $47 in change. Detectives are trying to lift fingerprints or DNA to help with catching a suspect. But if you know anything, please call Artesia Police. And the price tag for cleaning up waste from the once top-secret Manhattan Project and subsequent Cold War-era nuclear research at Los Alamos National Laboratory has more than doubled in the last 7 years. An independent federal investigator says federal officials will have to do better to track the costs and progress. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather, 100 to 105 for the afternoon high today. We have dry air in place for now, so we're expecting some sunshine. Overnight, a few clouds and low 70s, and then we get a mix of sunshine and clouds Saturday morning, sunny in the afternoon, upper 90s to low 100s. Slim chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Saturday night and down to about 70, 100 to 105 and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ fell on Thursday, weighed down by drops in Tesla and Netflix following their quarterly results. But the Dow advanced for a ninth straight day. An index designed to track turns in U.S. business cycles fell for the 15th straight month in June, dragged down by a weakening consumer outlook and increased unemployment claims, marking the longest streak of decreases since the lead-up to the 2007-2009 recession. The number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment benefits unexpectedly fell last week, touching the lowest level in 2 months, amid ongoing labor market tightness and defying efforts by the Federal Reserve to slow demand. The U.S. House of Representatives on Thursday voted to pass legislation that would raise the mandatory commercial pilot retirement age to 67 from 65 and make other aviation reforms. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
The Calico Cow has moved to a new home. Visit the Calico Cow at their new home, 200 East College, behind Farley's in Roswell. Lots of exciting changes at the new Calico Cow. New LED lighting, an amazing large classroom, plus more space, which means lots of new items and an even bigger selection of fabrics. Come see it for yourself. Want to know how? Come see the cow. The Calico Cow's new home at 200 East College in Roswell.
A comedian once said, "No one can tell me anything, not even myself." Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
You know, most people stop listening and start forming an answer or response when someone's talking to them within 7 seconds, so they miss most of the information.
John 10:27 says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me."
You know, when Julie and I were preparing for this, she looked right at me after I spoke for a while and said, "What?" I guess we all have work to do in listening. But you know what? Just like learning to know God takes time and focus and to know His voice, it's going to take time and focus to really get to know our spouse and to really start enjoying and loving marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
They're watching you. They see your social media posts. They follow your family, your friends, and your interests online because they're planning on taking your money. All of it. They're con artists. They'll use your social information to build your trust and lure you into once-in-a-lifetime investments with promises of high guaranteed returns. But it can be avoided. The Securities Division of New Mexico's Regulation and Licensing Department can help. Learn to spot the red flags of investment scams at rld.nm.gov/red flags or call 505-476-4580.
Most of the problems that people have with plants comes down to basic farm management. That means knowing what to plant and when to plant it. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Planting at the wrong time usually leads to disappointment and heartache, sort of like your first love. But planting at the right moment puts Mother Nature on your side, and that makes growing things easier and a whole lot more fun. So before you plant anything, come to see us at Roswell Seed, or just give it a try and hope for the best. It gives me a chance to say, I told you so.
When you or a loved one need medical transport, cost and ability to pay shouldn't get in the way. That's why Trans-Aero Medevac, through the generous support of the Written in Red Foundation and PY Foundation, provide air ambulance memberships to the residents of Eddy County at no out-of-pocket cost. As an Eddy County resident, as long as you're flown by Trans-Aero Medevac, Trans-Aero will accept your insurance or third-party payment with no additional out-of-pocket expense to you. Best of all, as a resident of Eddy County, you're automatically enrolled, free of charge. Because when minutes matter, financial burden should be the last thing on anyone's mind. You have a choice. Be sure to request Trans-Aero, a streamlined, personal, patient, and family-friendly air ambulance service. For more information, visit transaeromedevac.org. Trans-Aero Medevac. They really are wings for life.
Time for some facts. Xena Security Services, LLC is 100% locally owned and operated. You may have heard rumors that Xena Security was purchased by another company. Rest assured, these claims are absolutely false. Xena Security has been and will continue to be a trusted, locally owned and operated company dedicated to providing our customers the security and monitoring solutions they need for their home or business. Don't believe these rumors. Be secure in your security with locally owned and operated Xena Security. Call 575-626-3521 or stop by 218 West 1st in Roswell. Xena Security Services, LLC, locally owned and there when you need it most. The Chavez County Fair is happening July 23rd through the 29th at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds in Roswell. It's a week full of fun with lots going on in the livestock show ring and educational building. Can't be at the fair to support our youth? We'll catch coverage of all of the livestock shows live and on demand at ksvptv.com. Just click on the Chavez County Fair channel. Coverage of this year's fair brought to you by Plateau. Get the fastest internet in your home or business today. Visit plateautel.com to learn more.
Clyde Lewis and Ground Zero is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
And good morning. We're closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News coming up next. Stay tuned. Next hour, we'll have the folks in Roswell Communal Theater join us and talk about they got some big events coming up, too. So that's next hour. Stay tuned.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. In Florida, a federal judge setting a trial date for next May for former President Donald Trump in the case charging him with retaining classified documents. The May 20th, 2024 trial date is a compromise between a request from the defense. They wanted to schedule it after the election. Prosecutors had hoped to set the trial for this coming December. Things just aren't getting any better at all for the Bidens. Iowa GOP Senator Charles Grassley releasing a document alleging then Vice President Biden, along with Hunter, coerced a Ukrainian businessman to pay them millions of dollars.
Grassley released the form containing whistleblower claims the Bidens pressured the CEO of Burisma to pay millions in exchange for their success in getting a prosecutor who was investigating the company at the time fired. The pressure came at a time when Hunter Biden also held a lucrative position on the board of Burisma. Senator Grassley says the document alleges a criminal bribery scheme and that he released it so Americans could read it for themselves. Bob Agnew, Capitol Hill.
Also at townhall.com, top AI companies have agreed to safeguards put forth by the White House.
Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and other technology companies have agreed to meet a set of AI safeguards brokered by the Biden administration. The White House has secured voluntary commitments from 7 U.S. companies meant to ensure their AI products are safe before they release them. The president is hosting executives from the companies at the White House this afternoon for the announcement.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston. Authorities say a woman and 3 children have been found dead in Oklahoma in a home. They think it may be a murder-suicide. And rescue teams finding 5 more bodies in India. Death toll from a landslide now stands at 21. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Funds for disaster relief in Kentucky are being double-checked.
Disaster recovery funds set up by Kentucky's Democratic governor to assist victims of tornadoes and flooding will be scrutinized by the state auditor's office. The review was requested Thursday by a GOP-led legislative panel. It comes in the midst of the state's gubernatorial campaign as Governor Andy Beshear seeks re-election. The auditor's office says it will conduct a special examination of the Beshear administration's acceptance, administration, and expenditure of donated relief funds. Keith Peters reporting.
Well, when those heavy rains swept through the Northeast recently, farmers in the region dealt a devastating blow at the worst possible time. Crops were too early to harvest, but too late now to replant in the abbreviated growing season. Some of the hard-hit areas in Vermont, many farmers in that state were simply wiped out. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Sales of existing homes fell in June.
It's more evidence that many house hunters are being held back by the low number of homes for sale. Rising mortgage rates aren't helping either. Existing home sales fell 3.3% last month from May. Compared with June of last year, sales sank almost 19%. The shortage of homes for sale is driving bidding wars in many places, especially for the most affordable homes. The National Association of Realtors says 1/3 of homes sold last month went for more than their list price. But compared to June of last year, the typical sales price fell to just over $410,000. I'm Rita Foley.
He was considered one of the very best singers in history, a singer who appealed to all ages, from old people to kids. Tony Bennett has died at the age of 96. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
Feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres inviernos
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 at Roswell's Talk FM. Happy McDonald's Friday. Yeah, happy Friday.
I had my biscuits and gravy.
Did you? I got busy my nose in articles about the Commanders that I forgot to go grab someday.
You've been busy.
Yeah, I have. Which, by the way, latest thing I learned, there's a sports talk station in D.C. called WJFK. At one point, they were the flagship for the Redskins at the time. They no longer are. I think they do Nats baseball.
Are they sports now? Because JFK used to be. It was just like
talk.
It was their FM talk.
Yeah, it was Stern and all those guys.
Right.
But yeah, no. I went sports.
Okay.
About 10 years ago, so 15 years ago, and right around shortly after when Stern left, maybe a year or two after Stern went satellite. But
Right.
Maybe 2-3 years after that. They took
Okay.
over. But anyway, they had I think they do Nats games, and the Nats play right there in D.C. Their studios actually not far all that, so it's kind of but they do things called I guess they have like little pre-parties and after for baseball games and stuff, and so it's a place called the Bullpen downtown there where they hang out. And so they were having their big party, and I think this one was more for the sale of the Commanders to Josh Harris Group. So at the time, one of their radio shows, their midday shows going on, and so I guess they're doing that show either live out there or something. And so, sports talk, they take calls and all that. Well, they got Josh Harris on the phone.
Oh, okay.
The new owner of the majority owner, and he basically said, "I'm feeling thirsty," and he bought the hundreds of people, could have been 1,000, I don't know, everyone a beer at the Bullpen event. And and then they went on, I saw a video of them coming on saying, "Your new owner just bought y'all a beer, so walk up to the bartender and go get a beer."
Nice.
And when they do that, that bodes well for me because that tells me they get it. They get how disgruntled this fan base was. They get that what was once one of the most storied historic franchises in the league got completely dwindled to nothing in 25 years, and they get that. And I know you're thinking, oh, you just bought him a beer. That little gesture of I'm one of you guys is going to pay dividends in the acceptance because they're so eager to accept a good owner. They are ready, so ready.
Right.
And just doing little things like this, and then you got Magic doing his magic on TV.
Well, that's just point proven that they've been paying attention to what's been going on with the Redskins, or excuse me, the Commanders over the last decade and a half.
Now, Josh Harris also owns the Philadelphia 76ers and a few other. He's not a new owner. He's got a history of owning franchises and things, and a good track record.
Still, in my opinion, one of the catchiest songs of all sports teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Sixers. 10, 9, 8, 76ers.
I think he was on after that.
No, it was much after. But I'm just saying, it's a great song.
Yes.
Catchy. Super catchy.
But he's from the D.C. Maryland. He grew up in Maryland.
Okay.
He's from, so he grew up watching the Redskins. So that association will do big things for him also.
Sure.
Even though he does own the 76ers and all that, he's like, he grew up in D.C. And when Dan Snyder first took over 25 years ago, he's also a guy that grew up in D.C. and loved the Redskins. And so there is that leeriness of that a bit.
Sure.
But just because Josh Harris and his track record with his other professional franchises, the fact that Magic Johnson's on board, and the fact that they're already doing the little things, and one thing that was very interesting that is a kind of a mic drop moment for the Commander fan base. Magic Johnson was on the Today Show this morning, and I haven't watched the clip myself, but I've seen the fallout from it. He basically said during that interview that after this season, a name change, all is on the table. So there is a lot of hope because
you got to feel bad for people who like buy merch regularly because they're like, doggone it, now I got to go buy another set of jerseys. I have this one that says football team. I have this one that says Commanders. Now I got to get a whole new one.
I said the same thing 2 years ago when they flipped the Washington football team, and I told her I wasn't buying it.
See, you should have, though, because think about it. You could have had a very, like in 20 or 30 years, I bet Washington football team merch is going to be worth something. Somebody, okay, case in point, somebody sold a first edition iPhone.
Yeah.
New in box, factory sealed from 2007 for $67,000.
Wow.
Somebody else, this happened that happened a few months ago. Somebody else last week sold one from the first edition. Like they changed it after 2 months of releasing the phone.
Yeah.
But this first edition was still new in box, and it sold for $170,000. Just saying.
Yeah, there could be, but my only thing, if this was not an NFL franchise, I would have maybe agree with you. But the fact that whenever the NFL, this is the reason why there's a bunch of people in Africa with Super Bowl losing T-shirts.
I was just gonna say.
I'm just saying
those probably aren't worth
because there's so much volume of it. I don't know if holding on to it is going to be worth.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have to hold on to it a couple generations for it to. I just think there's so much of it out there. I don't think it's going to be worth.
And that's just it. Nobody thinks about the feelings of the people of Africa. They've been walking around with shirts that say football team for the last year.
No, they have never seen one because they've never been close to even sniffing at a Super Bowl since they've been that. So there is no, Super Bowl champion Washington Commanders shirts in Africa anywhere. Nowhere.
Let's just print one or two just for good measure. Just in case. And cover those bases.
Those shirts do not exist. Guarantee. So maybe, but I think that's a huge crapshoot on that one. It's not worth keeping that stuff in a trunk for 50 years.
Right.
Not to me, anyway.
Yeah, and this is me suggesting that the guy that instantly opens his toys because I'm not going to keep them in the box. That's not what an action figure. An action figure is supposed to see action. Yeah. That's the whole reason he's there. Otherwise, he's just a figure.
I saw a thing on Facebook this morning. I guess some action figure company just put out. The stupid Disney movie from the 70s.
Song of the South?
No, space movie. The one with the flying trash cans. Oh, the name just went right out of my head. I have to go look it up. It might be before you. Black Hole. The Black Hole.
Oh, really?
Remember the movie The Black Hole?
Vaguely.
In the 70s? They had the two trash can robots. And
yeah.
Well, apparently some companies made them as action figures.
Really?
Now you can get. So all you Black Hole fans out there, rush out and get those.
One of my favorite action figures that I've ever seen is the Deadbeat Dad action figure. It's just an empty box because he's out getting smokes.
He'll be back.
And all over the box it says he'll be back any minute now.
Yeah. So be it.
That's great.
All right. Our guest is here. I think I hear.
Unless Roy's having a conversation with himself.
Yes, Roy could be multi voicing it.
An enigma of a man. I was walking around my living room last weekend for a good solid 3 hours, just singing, "He's Roy, an enigma of a man," adding my own backing vocals. Roy.
You should just iPhone turn it on. And keep these in handy. You never know. It could be a thing someday.
Right?
The best moments happen when nothing's around to hear it.
That's true. God, isn't that true?
All right. It is closing in on 9:15. Let us get you up to date on the weather that you are not going to like.
Nope.
So, sorry about that.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather, 100 to 105 for the afternoon high today. We have dry air in place for now, so we're expecting some sunshine. Overnight, a few clouds and low 70s, and then we get a mix of sunshine and clouds Saturday morning, sunny in the afternoon, upper 90s to low 100s. Slim chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Saturday night and down to about 70, 100 to 105, and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 83 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 34%. Winds currently out of the east at 6 miles per hour. Sunny and 102 today. Winds will be out of the east, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight, looking at an overnight low of 72 degrees. Southeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Saturday, mostly sunny and hot with a high of 97. Winds will be out of the east, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, there is a chance, just a 20%, but a 20% chance at some showers and thunderstorms before midnight. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 72 with south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny and a high of 101. Winds will be out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And Monday, when you head back to work, sunny and hot with a high of 105. All right, it is 16 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 2.5-minute commercial break. Then Lethea Hartwell with the Roswell Community Little Theater will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Most of the problems that people have with plants comes down to basic farm management. That means knowing what to plant and when to plant it. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Planting at the wrong time usually leads to disappointment and heartache, sort of like your first love. But planting at the right moment puts Mother Nature on your side, and that makes growing things easier and a whole lot more fun. So before you plant anything, come to see us at Roswell Seed, or just give it a try and hope for the best. It gives me a chance to say, I told you so.
Hey, Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Trustmark is one of the only roofing companies that's also a licensed commercial and residential general contractor.
Wow.
I know, who cares, right? Well, you should care. You see, a licensed roofer can install a new roof on your home, but really can't handle structural problems underneath. So if your roof needs reframing or your chimney needs a water-diverting cricket, you may need to call a licensed general contractor. And coordinating two companies for your roofing job can get costly and messy fast. As a licensed roofer and general contractor, Trustmark can install a stunning new roof on your home and handle structural issues. This saves you time, money, hassle, and even makes it easier to file an insurance claim. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit us at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Yup, it's back to school season again, and Roswell Honda wants to get you geared up with the 6th annual Roswell Honda Back to School Blowout. Now through July 28th, stop by Roswell Honda and get your kids registered to receive a backpack chock full of supplies absolutely free. Then on July 29th, join Roswell Honda from 10 to 1 for the Back to School Bash with lots of free food and fun stuff for the whole family. While you're there, register to win a brand new office chair, a desk, and even an HP laptop. Register now for the Back to School Blowout at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Astronauts are not allowed to eat beans before they go into space because passing wind in a spacesuit damages them. The suits for the astronauts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Community Little Theater, Alethea Hartwell and Bryce Hager back with us. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning. How are y'all doing today?
Good.
Doing great.
Well, and here's the thing. Technically, they're in the off season right now, but they've been pretty busy. But next month is officially, now the off season officially ends and the season officially begins.
Right.
If you can delineate the break there was one. It's not much of one, but there was one there.
It's about 2 weeks.
So, that being said, are you guys excited, ready, gearing up here for the new 2023-24 season here at the Community Little Theater?
Yes, we are. It's going to be a great season.
Yeah, and it, I guess, would officially kick off, is August 5th the official kickoff with the Curtains Rising event? With that, because right on the heels of that, you got the play there at the theater itself. But so everything will kick off officially August 5th at the Liberty.
Right.
And we've got a little dinner theater for folks to tell them about, right?
Yes.
All right. So what's it? So give us a little background on this play at the Liberty.
Okay, so it's a 1920s two rival speakeasies.
All right. So think of zoot suits and the
Tommy guns.
Yeah.
Flower
dresses.
Right. I'm gonna get a violin case.
That's right. Speakeasy. You got to knock on the door, secret knock to get into the speakeasy.
Everybody who's coming does have to give a passphrase.
The Liberty will be password needed to get in that night.
Right,
Yes.
and you have to go. You're going to go through the back entrance. It's really like speakeasy. It's a lot of fun.
So better remember, because it'd be real embarrassing if you're sitting out there like, dude, what's the password? I don't remember. So when you order your tickets online, which you can do at roswelltheater.com right now, spell theater like live theater, TATATRE, and you'll see a link of some upcoming events. You'll see one for the Curtains Rising event, August 5th. Click on that, and then you can order your tickets and stuff.
Right. It takes you straight to the ticket link. Right.
And that's it is dinner and a show.
Dinner and a show.
And you get a choice of I can't remember. It's like beef or chicken. I remember.
Beef, chicken, and fish. There's three options.
Third option.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
So whatever. If you're land, sea, or air, kinda. About this high in the air. Whatever your proclivity is, they got you covered there. So, but it's going to be a fun whodunit murder mystery,
right?
Comedy based, obviously, with and with the. But we want to encourage everyone to come and participate in the event in the spirit. If you've got some zoot suits or you get put on your 20s era
flappers dresses,
dresses and suits and things, and come out and be. I mean, you don't have to, but if you got you don't have to get full out, but maybe a little bow tie or a little
more
something.
fun.
We will be, so you'll fit right in.
You'll. But it'll help with the password too. It'll be like, oh, this guy's got a zoot suit on.
Right.
They're in the know. But but we would love to welcome everybody to come on out, have dinner, and enjoy this great comedy. This show. You guys kind of have a murder theme for the first month here. I was just kind of because you got Is He Dead? You got and the murder mysteries. It's just there's so if you like the whodunits, the month of August is right up your wheelhouse for the
That's right.
Community Little Theater here.
It's gonna be fun.
I know tickets are probably very limited for the Curtains Rising event, so the sooner you get them, the better.
Yes, and we are about halfway sold out.
Okay. You can go to thelibertyinc.com. You can also go to the Communal Theater at the link, but it's going to take you to the Liberty Inc. If you want to cut out the middleman, you can go right to thelibertyinc.com and order your tickets that way. But if you want, you can go through the Communal Theater, just click the tickets, and it'll warp you over to the other one there. So, but and then while you're there, you can get tickets for right on the heels of that. You've got 2 weekends of shows, like the next 2 weekends right after that, and then you get to find out if he's dead.
Right. Is he dead? We don't know yet. We're still in question.
Yes. So give a little background on that one, other than is he dead?
Right. So, you want to tell about it?
Sure. So Is He Dead is actually Mark Twain. It's a Mark Twain play, and it's about a French artist who has trouble selling his paintings because he's still alive. Everyone knows that.
Oh, and he's got to be dead.
Everyone knows that it doesn't take off till he's dead.
Your paintings aren't valuable till you die. Yes.
So he and his companions hatch a scheme where he's going to fake his own death to drive up the price of his paintings.
Nice.
But he can't stand to be away from the action, so they come up with a really, let's just say, a really hilarious disguise.
That's great. Well, and for folks, if anybody that's ever read or studied Mark Twain stuff, he's a very witty guy. He's a very, some of the sayings that we even say to this day, you could probably attribute to Mark Twain in some way, shape, or form. And some of those colloquialisms and things that people share on Facebook every once in a while.
Well, there's a lot of Mark Twain in this play. There's some scenes where you're just like, oh man. And what's cool about this play is that it was undiscovered for a long time.
Okay, so it's kind of like in the family trunk somewhere, and like
they had to dust it off.
This is a play that the Grandpa Mark wrote, or whoever discovered it.
Yeah, it was never produced during his lifetime, and so it was adapted, and then it's one of those like kind of hidden lost gems.
Sure.
And so
and you think about it. We're looking at the lens a couple hundred years later, and he's still in the lexicon.
Right.
Imagine back in that time period. You know what I mean? Like, you don't realize, like, Mark Twain in that time would be like Beyonce, little Lady Gaga, and like all rolled together, in one thing. That's how big a deal. So it's amazing to me when you have someone like an author or someone like him, where hundreds of years after he's not with us anymore, we're still talking about and his stuff is still relevant to this day. That's that's what and it's witty and funny. That's the part too, because a lot of people, you think old, they think, it's got to be hoity-toity and winded bagged. And Mark Twain was pretty concise and clear, and he was a little blunt in some of his things.
Oh,
very. Yes,
he was a little edgy in some ways,
and
all that comes through,
and it does, and that's probably why he's still remembered to this day. It's It's not. It's like he said it.
He was razor sharp, and
a lot of people thinking it, but he's like, he said it. So that's why he's today. But he's very funny. That's the thing too. Is a lot of people think serious, and I'm like, no, he's actually a very funny guy.
And this play,
you look at his writings and some of the things. He's a witty, funny guy, and I think you're going to probably see some of that in this play.
Definitely.
I'm wondering, like, if there's something about it he didn't like it, hence the reason. Like, how your own work, you're always like, there's a scene in here that you wonder if there's a reason why it was, it's like when we found all these Beatles songs. And like,
right.
There's something about them that the band didn't like, and that's why they're sitting buried still. You know what I mean? And you wonder, but that doesn't deter me. That makes me want to go see it more. You know what I mean? But it's like like, what was going on in Twain's head where he's like, or is it just one of those things where he got busy and it just got left on a shelf then he died, and then it's like, oh dang, we don't know what to do with this,
There's a brief kind of explanation of that in the notes that we got in our scripts, and it basically said that it was a pretty big production. There were lots of actors required. When they adapted it, they kind of shrunk all that down. They kind of made it more concise. So it would have been a big production, so it was kind of like one of those ones where it was just too many actors, and so it kind of just got shelved and then forgotten about.
Even hundreds of years ago, they still had budgets and things.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, that's too much money. The juice isn't worth the squeeze here on this one, so we don't do it. How many great movie and film and plays get written and done, but they don't see the light of a stage because it's just too expensive.
It's too big to put that on.
Unless you can start attaching some big draw names to it, and then it's going to be hard to get your money back. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that probably a lot of masterpieces kind of go the way of the dodo. There's one of my big crazy flies that reside in this building for some reason. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So that'll be coming up. That's the weekend.
Opens
it's like
the 11th.
Yeah, it's at that 11th to 12th and 13th, and then the 16th, 17th, or 18th, 19th. Those 2 weekends, wherever the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are. It's 7:30 p.m. those Friday night and Saturday night shows, and then the 2:30 matinee on the Sundays of those 2 weekends. Tickets are available right now, RoswellTheater.com. Again, spell theater, Theatre. Matter of fact, when you go there, as soon as you go to the page, there's going to be a pop-up. Guy kind of looks like the Pope or priest is going to be on there, and he kind of says something like, "Hey, stay in the know and submit your email address," and that way you stay in. Do that, and that way every time there's a new show or something like that, you're going to get notifications saying, "Hey, Community Theater's at it again. They got another immersive dinner, or they got another Mission Improbable night, or they got another play weekend coming up," and so you're in the know, and you can kind of get your tickets, and you don't have to worry about oh, am I going to make it in time? Am I going to get there? I'm going to do all that. So don't forget, get your tickets in advance, save you a little bit of headache there. But if it comes up Friday night or the night of the event, you're like, oh, dang, I want to get my tickets in. No problem. Come to the box office. They'll get you in. But save them a little headache and a little bit of plotting and planning time, and get your tickets in advance. That way they can kind of prepare a little bit better. So, but get again, August 5th is for the big Curtains Rising event at the Liberty. Your murder mystery play. What's that one called again?
I Love You to Death.
I Love You to Death. There's all these dead themes, but they're kind of muddying together. And then Is He Dead? The hidden lost Mark Twain play.
Yes.
That'll be the weekend following on the August 11th weekend, and then the August 18th weekend, that next weekend there. Get your tickets. Now, how big are the casts on these? Are like the dinner theater play? Is that a big ensemble on that one?
It's a fair size. There's 10 actors.
Well, the good news is it's unlike your other immersive dinners. You don't have to serve as waiters and waitresses on this one.
That's nice. We do not have to do serving the dinner this time. Yeah, that's going to be really nice. So the Liberty is taking good care of us on that.
They are pretty good at the food side, so we're just going to let them do it. We'll handle the thespian stuff. You handle the grilling and eating and serving.
And we've also got a 1920s themed escape room that's going to be set up there at the venue, and then a 360 photo booth where you can get your picture taken.
Okay, so is like if you got to participate in your escape room during the UFO Fest.
Yes.
Is it? I mean, that was probably more alien themed, but same kind of vein, kind of thing.
Yeah. So 1920s.
Cool. This one will be more 20s and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with escape rooms, they're pretty popular. Yeah. Basically, you're locked in a room. And usually they're themed. Like this one will be a Roaring 20s, speakeasy theme. But sometimes it's a zombie themed or a space themed or whatever, haunted mansion themed or something. And basically you're locked in a room and you got to get out. And usually it's you with a group of friends, and there's clues through all, and you got to play, Sherlock Holmes and kind of rummage through the stuff in the room and try to figure out how to get out of the room. And it's a lot of fun. It's to kind of get the senses going, get a lot of group. It's really a group activity. I don't think people do escape rooms by themselves.
That would be boring.
It's kind of sad and lonely when you do that. But you do you. I mean, if you're like, no, I want to do it myself. God bless you. You're like, my brain is amazing. I want to do it. okay. But yeah, come on out. If you never did, that's another good thing to fun. And then here's the cool part is we're raising funds for the communal theater. Right. This is it's come out. We want to have a dinner and a show and a lot of fun, and y'all make it a date night or family night or whatever you want to do there. But what we're trying to do is raise money for the communal theater so we can keep that building up and going, so we can keep paying for the rights to some great plays and things for the upcoming future, and keep the communal theater growing and going strong here in Roswell. So that's what you're doing by coming out and eating chicken or fish or steak and watching a whodunit and putting your zoot suits on and having a good time and getting an escape room. You're supporting all of that by doing it. That keeps going strong. Here, so. And then right after that, turn around and get your tickets for the next weekend here, and that'll be back at the communal theater. And so you're on your own for dinner, but but you can come out and enjoy the show any one of those nights or multiple nights. Yeah. Experience tells me the second weekend's going to be a little busier than the first one because a lot of word of mouth and everything gets around the first weekend. Everyone's like, "Oh, you got one more chance," and then so plan a little bit, especially if you're limited on the days you can go. So.
Yeah, well, they'll have a lot to talk about with this one because it's gonna be a riot.
Yeah.
Is it
I'm excited.
Like because so it's kind of the Is He Dead play. It sounds like it's got a hint of a buddy comedy to it a little bit.
There's definitely that element. That's the thing. This play has several different funny things going on at the same time. There's the fake death. There's the person in disguise. There's the kind of hidden romance. There's the there's so much going on, and we really want people to come out and see it.
And I'm guessing it's one of those things where the more like everything started innocent and then something spirals and something kind of like that Curb Your Enthusiasm style. Where you think something's not so big deal at the beginning, it spirals into this whole thing by the end. Yeah. I imagine there's a lot of that, just knowing how Mark Twain kind of
the starving artist comes up with a desperate scheme, and then there's some unforeseen consequences.
Right. I could see. So it's almost, and this is why storytelling is a timeless thing, because yes, this story was told 100 years ago, but how many stories since then you're like, okay, maybe the setting, the scene's different, but it's that same what draws you into the story is what's carrying you through the story. Yeah, you may change the buildings and the scenery and stuff, but the feel and all that's still kind of there. And that's because you look at this, and I'm thinking this is like Smokey and the Bandit for 1880s. You know what I mean, or something like that. It's
for real.
I mean, that's people don't change. There's always schemes. There's always and that's beautiful. I mean? Yeah.
And so I love that about it. So and I think these are the kind of things that make you realize that yes, despite humanity living and breathing and surviving in 200 years apart. Look at the common interest. Look at the common thoughts.
Very relatable.
Look at the common, maybe the words are a little different. Maybe the clothing was a little different. Maybe how you did things was a little different, but the sentiment behind it's the same. It's kind of to me that's one of the cool parts about historic plays, historic books, things like that. Because you're like, oh dang! Once you cut through the time generation and the turn of phrase. They were thinking kind of like how we think today, just, with a different perspective. Ooh, this is a sweet spot.
Can he get it?
Missed.
He missed.
Thought about it too long.
I just played chicken and lost. Dang it. But that's why, and so I think folks are going to really love that play. I think it's just going to be, and I think it's, you bring teenagers and stuff too, even though they're like, oh, Mark, I think they're going to relate, and because of just what we were talking about.
Oh yeah,
so, very cool. What's on the horizon after these two productions are done?
So we do have some Mission Improbables coming up in September.
Those are always fun.
And November.
Okay.
And then we have. Sorry,
it's a lot on one time.
I'm forgetting the. Farce of Habit.
Okay, that's the next major production.
Play,
okay,
and that's in October.
Okay,
and it's set at a fishing lodge.
Okay,
and there's nuns and an axe murderer and someone who's trying to quit coffee cold turkey, and so she's going crazy. I mean, it's just got like all kinds of crazy nonsense going on.
Hang out at these fishing lodges, man.
It's at the Realum Inn.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool. Sounds like another comedy.
It is. It's
good.
It's hysterical.
Good
That's
deal.
a very funny play.
Good deal. Now, by the way, always looking for more people to be a part of the community little theater too. Even if I'm not acting on a stage. That's not for me. There's still a lot of different ways you can be a part of the community little theater without acting on the stage, or they need help with sound, lighting. If you're a technical person and love doing that stuff, you would be highly coveted because usually one or two people and they have to be there for everything. So I think they'd like a night off every once in a while. So so the more people that know sound and lighting, that kind of allows that to happen.
Yeah.
Costuming and makeup. I know you have some great people, but again, they're not available 24/7.
Right,
they need
right.
others to say, hey, I'm sorry I'm not available, but so and so is, so we're good to go.
Set design, set building.
Yeah,
That's always
kind
a
of
huge
stuff.
thing.
Even working play nights as ushers, or working the front
Ticket
counter, the ticket booth, the concessions, all of that stuff's needed. And then behind the stage too, they need folks to there's, depending on the play, there could be a lot of costume changes or quick. Oh, we got to be back in 2 minutes in a new outfit to get them.
Right.
And there's people back there helping the actors get ready, get there, making sure people are standing where they're supposed to be standing. So when it's time for to go on stage, they're not eating vanilla wafers in the back room. They're at their spot where they're supposed to be. You know what I mean? That's so. So there's a lot of different roles that don't actually involve you to being and not to being on the stage.
Right.
But if you want to do that part too, then come out to auditions. Come out. Come out and be a part of that. Maybe come out to one of the Mission Improbables and hang out and watch that, and then stick around afterwards and talk to some of the players there. And by the way, if you're a business or organization, the Mission Improbable troupe also does a version for like team building and work-related things. I mean, it's funny too, but it's not just for entertainment. It's to serve as a group thing. So if you'd like to use some of the improbable techniques to maybe create some cohesion or things at your organization or business,
absolutely
reach out to Community Little Theater. They'd be happy to maybe do a presentation for you, a little thing for that too. But in the meantime, just come out on the Friday nights here. But about once a month here, we're coming up here in the fall and late summer.
September we'll have 2 in September. Actually, one at the beginning, one at the end. We're going to skip October because we've got a play, and then we'll be back in November.
Good deal. And if you ever watched Whose Line Is It Anyway, that's Mission Improbable. It's you get the set of actors on stage. You have a host. The host takes stuff from the audience, has kind of pre-designated skits and bits that they want to try out on the players, and then the players have no knowledge of what's coming, and they got to react based on the information the host gives them. So it could be something like
made up on the spot.
It could be something like things from a box, and there's a bunch of just who, what's it's, and widgets, and could be a hat, could be a shoe, could be a big giant foam hand, and each person has to make up something funny that goes with it. It's like, hey, I'm a rooster, and they put the big hat on their head or something like that. Something along those lines. But that's a night of that is what it is. And it really causes the players to think on their feet and do it, and that's where the comedy happens.
Yeah.
Because you don't always nail it the way some other person would have nailed it. It's like, that's where they went with that. All right.
Very unpredictable.
It can be very surprising at times.
And then the other players have to feed off that. So, it's so something that no one knew nothing about turns into a whole big scene at the end that you're like, where did that, it's kind of like radio here where I start talking about tacos, and next thing you know, I'm talking about, world peace or something down the road. It's like, how did I get here from tacos?
Yeah, I find myself dying laughing a lot of times when I'm emceeing. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's it.
They're so funny.
And it's fun for everyone because no one knows what's going to really happen. It just kind of, and even the host, okay, I know a couple of the themes that we're going to cover, but you have no idea what direction it's going to go in. It's just that's the beauty of it.
And the audience participates, so you're part of the game.
If you leave there not have a good time, you're kind of a fuddy.
Right.
You're kind of a curmudgeon. Just it might be you, not us.
It's definitely.
But these are great ways to get involved. Any updates on Kids Arts Program? Anything? Do we have anything?
So we have a class coming up. I believe it starts in August. I should have looked up that date.
Okay.
But we do have a class planned.
Okay.
So they are going to be doing Aesop's so slightly updated fables.
Okay. So a few adjectives added to that Aesop's Fables there,
Right.
but of the kid version.
Right. So it should be a lot of fun, and it is 3rd through 12th grade. So
Good deal.
We
So
have
elementary to
2
high school.
classes, right?
Excellent. And it's really cool because the kids learn all aspects of theater and life, really. They're
Right.
learning life lessons and,
Yeah.
how to, human skills and things, but it's all kind of under the guise of theater.
Right.
And so they'll learn aspects from the business side of it a little bit to the creative side to the hardware, physical labor side of it.
Right.
To and then ancillary stuff, like they'll partner with other organizations in the past. You've done stuff with the Historical Society. If you guys remember I can remember
Graveside Manor.
Graveside Manor. I was like, I never remember the actual time, but where we go out and we do the Chautauquas with some of Roswell's more legendary people and founders and stuff like that. And
I
so
really miss Graveside. I wish we'd bring that back.
I think well, maybe not this weekend because it's like 110, but
No.
in
We
the
usually
fall,
do it in the fall.
yeah, it's a little nicer,
And that's really great because it's very historical, and the kids learn a lot about the founders of Roswell or famous people that are buried in our cemetery.
Yeah.
Just different things.
Well, and I like that too because you see all of our street names. You see names like Poe
Lee.
and Lee and all that, and you're like, where those came from? Come out to Graveside Manor and
J.P.
you
White.
meet some of the people that their names are emblazoned on some of our
Right.
things around town.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a really cool side of it too. But that's all part of the Kids Arts Program, CAPS program, KAPS.
Right.
Go to, again, RoswellTheater.com, THEATRE. There is a tab for the CAPS there, and you can kind of read more and then reach out if you're interested in signing up here for this next class here in about a month or so. But it's a great opportunity for kids, and I love, especially if you have a child in school that maybe they're not involved or not in, and I think it's just maybe put them in an environment like this. Let's see if they flourish. Because I think sometimes, people don't, and I talk with you about this almost every time we talk about the CAPS. Kids, humans don't learn the same way. Each human absorbs information a different way. Some respond better to the classroom setting and take notes and all that. Others, they want to touch things, do things. They got to, you can tell me something 1,000 times, but until I get there and put my hands on it, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. And part of that's my problem, but I mean, because I have a attention span of a gnat, but that's another thing. But that's how, and I think things like the CAPS program expose the kids to learning through a different technique.
In a different way.
And so what may not resonate in the classroom, it might be the light bulb moment at the CAPS program where what they're learning in the classroom, and it kind of all starts making sense because it's presented in a different way. And that's what I think CAPS offers these children and families.
It's great to see the kids. Sometimes I'll be coming in on the way to rehearsal, and there'll be a CAPS thing going on in the lobby, and they're playing the games and they're doing the things, and they're just having so much fun. And it makes me think, kids, they're very comfortable pretending. They're still very familiar with their imaginations. You know what I mean? We kind of lose that as we grow older, but they're still right there.
Sure.
And
when you have the world
alive
in front of you, you dream because I've got 50, 60, 100 years ahead of me. What am I going to do with it? I'm going to be an astronaut. But as we get older and we get set in our ways, and it
we
suddenly,
lose that.
yeah, we lose it.
Yeah,
we lose
we
it,
do.
and
Wonder.
It's nice when you see kids with it, and you're like, huh. And then sometimes you get inspired. It's like, you know what? I'm going to pick up that guitar again. You know what? I've been meaning to do that. You know what? It reminds us that we ain't dead yet.
Right.
If you're breathing, and you're on Earth, you're doing your thing. Do what you want. Do the things that make you you.
Yeah.
And I think this reminds us old people that sometimes.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah.
But it's a great program, and so please reach out. I would imagine too, if you want to serve, the board, that capacity, some of the executive decision side of things, they're always looking for fresh ideas and faces to come and be a part of that too. So if you want to,
you can join the theater. We meet. Our general meeting is the first Tuesday of every month.
Okay.
At 6:30 at the theater. And members are encouraged at those meetings to get involved in the stuff that we're doing. So everybody knows what's going on at the meeting.
That's how this happens. These productions and plays,
right.
If one person's doing all the work, it's really not going to happen. It's just too much for one or two people to do. It really takes a collective effort of people. Everyone doing their roles. You got to have someone in charge and kind of leading and running the show. But but everyone's got their wheel in the cog, the big cog there, and if one's missing, then the machine don't roll right, and that's what you're, that's what community little theater is. It just, it looks a little different than some other organizations, but when it's all said and done, that's how it works.
It's a labor of love, but it's still a labor.
It is,
Well, yeah, because those sets don't just magically show up one day.
Just pop up.
There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go, and that's also the beauty of it, because you have different opinions and different things, and people want to do it this way and this way, and that's some of the fun minutia. I mean, it could get knocked down, drag out sometimes, but because when you have a bunch of people with passion, it's like family, like your sisters and brothers. Mm-hmm. You love them the hardest, but fight with them the hardest sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
There gets to be a little bit of that sometimes, but it's all because people are so passionate and loving about what they do, and that's what you want. Yeah. If you've got a bunch of people that care about the product's going to be good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For sure.
If it's going to take a few blood, sweat, and tears to get there, but at the end of the day, every person that's a part of that, they're going to be happy about that product. And that's what you get to the communal theater is, sure, there are going to be battles, there are going to be days, disagreements, but you know what? We all love theater. We all love this building. We all love what we do here, and we want to make sure our kids get to do the same thing we're doing right now.
Right. Absolutely.
And so we can all agree that, then we'll compromise on our creative choices.
We'll compromise. Lots of compromises.
But that's part of being a part of a community theater group, and so that. So it's like a family. You love hard and fun, but sometimes you argue hard and
We're
fun
all
too.
so dramatic.
There's a reason. That's why I do more comedies. Get that stigma of drama out of there. I'm just kidding. But again, RoswellTheater.com is everything we talked about, and but the hottest thing on the radar right now is the big Curtains Rising event at the Liberty, August 5th. Come on out, get your 20s duds. Go to thelibertyinc.com or go to roswelltheater.com and get your tickets right now. You do have one important decision: chicken, fish or beef. That's your big decision. So have that debate and figure it out before you go there, because I'd hate for you to get there and you have a 20-minute fight. I want chicken. No, why don't you get the chicken? I'll get the beef. But I want the fish.
Yeah, and you do have to order it in advance.
So get that battle done, and then get your tickets.
And bring your detective skills.
That's right. Snoop. Yes. Bring your magnifying glass and your Sherlock Holmes hat, and Basset Hound if you got one. You need to sniff up clues, or at least a St. Bernard with a whiskey barrel.
There you go.
That might be helpful.
Oh yeah.
Irish whiskey.
That's right. And then, of course, don't forget, right after that, the weekend, the next 2 weekends, right after the August 5th event, Is He Dead? At the Roswell Community Little Theater. Right. Once again, tickets are available that time only at the RoswellTheater.com website, and they'll be available at the door. You can't get tickets at the Liberty for that one. Although I don't think they'd mind doing it, but it's not at their place. Is there anything I missed or we missed? Anything we wanted to cover or anything I got sidetracked on?
For the fall. I mean, that's what we've got coming up in the fall.
Come out and be a part of the community little theaters. If you're looking for an organization, a place to get involved and have some fun, this fall, this summer, right now, come out to the 5th and start there and start talking to people and introducing and getting into the circles here. And next thing you know, you'll be on stage opening night, or the person, making sure the spotlight's where it's supposed to be on opening night. That could be you.
We need them all.
Exactly. And it's a lot of fun. And by the way, if you do get a chance, ask for a tour of the back. You could literally spend hours just looking through the costume and prop rooms back there. It's like the American Pickers guys. If you ever watch that show on History Channel, those guys, that'd be like their Shangri-La if they walk through that.
Kind of like a museum back there.
Yeah. It's like the Holy Grail just be laying back there. It's just so much stuff.
It might be, actually.
What's this cup?
I feel funny.
But there's a lot of stuff there. So, well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
I know you guys don't like doing AM in the theater world, so we do appreciate that. It's like mornings. These are for sleeping. All of our shows are at night for a reason. But absolutely, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Okay?
Yay!
Yeah. All right. We'll all be ready. I think I chose chicken.
Did you?
I did. I went chicken.
Hey, you're emceeing for us.
I am. That's right. That little nugget forgot to be.
Oh wow! Okay, that's news to me. Cool.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll be emceeing, or will I? Because what I hear is Oh, they got a guy.
There might be a murder.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Your life may be in danger.
Yeah, it might be. So if someone's got an axe to grind against the MC, I'm not that guy. I'm just some dude eating chicken in the corner. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Now I got a bounty. All right, it is 9:52. It's a small one, though. Let's go ahead and get you up to date with news. Quick break and all that. Don't go away.
Now your Pecos Valley News update. Darn that pigeon poop. The marquee at the old Land of the Sun Theater caught fire Tuesday. Thankfully, damage was limited to the outside. There was no material fire damage inside the building. However, Artesia Daily Press is reporting firefighters said that the cause of the fire was built-up pigeon poop in this terrible heat that appears to have somehow caught fire. Artesia police are also investigating a burglary. It happened at the Pecos Diamond Steakhouse, 601 South 1st Street. Police used surveillance video to determine the break-in happened just after 4 in the morning Monday. Someone bashed in a door and took out about $47 in change. Detectives are trying to lift fingerprints or DNA to help with catching a suspect. But if you know anything, please call Artesia Police. And the price tag for cleaning up waste from the once top-secret Manhattan Project and subsequent Cold War-era nuclear research at Los Alamos National Laboratory has more than doubled in the last 7 years. An independent federal investigator says federal officials will have to do better to track the costs and progress. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
He's running on Bidenomics. Well, you needed $1,000 in today's money to buy what you could buy for $862 when Biden took off. Things were getting more expensive. I know, at a slower rate than the previous year when inflation was soaring and Biden inflation, it hit 16%. Food prices, 19%. Price of gasoline up $1.50 on average now. And this is the low level of the price of a gallon of gasoline. Now, by the way, we have a new study finding electric vehicles don't cut the cost for drivers and don't help the environment. And by the way, now the government is planning electric cars will be the only kind of new car we're going to be allowed to buy after 2035.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Remember 2019? A gallon of gas was $2.60. A dozen eggs cost $1.40. And a pound of beef was $3. But now, gas is $3.66. Eggs cost $3 to $4, and beef is almost $5. But that's not because food is getting more expensive. Thanks to inflation, your dollars have lost 99% of their value in the last 90 years. So if you're counting on your money to last, don't trust the dollars in your account. Trust the only thing that's held its value over time: gold and silver. Now, write this down, because when you protect your money with physical gold and silver, you could also get up to $10,000 in free silver from Sean Hannity's partner, Goldco, when you call 855-815-GOLD. So don't miss what could be your best opportunity to protect your retirement savings today. Call 855-815-GOLD. That's 855-815-GOLD.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. 100 to 105 for the afternoon high today. We have dry air in place for now, so we're expecting some sunshine. Overnight, a few clouds and low 70s, and then we get a mix of sunshine and clouds Saturday morning, sunny in the afternoon, upper 90s to low 100s. Slim chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Saturday night and down to about 70, 100 to 105, and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Jason Walker. Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and other technology companies that are leading the development of artificial intelligence technology have agreed to meet a set of AI safeguards brokered by the Biden administration. White House says it has secured voluntary commitments from 7 U.S. companies meant to ensure their AI products are safe before they are released. American Express saw its profit and revenue climb in the second quarter, but the credit card company and global payments company stock slipped before the market opened as it set aside more money for possible defaults on payments. Striking screenwriters and actors moving to additional sites, not just walking the streets in New York and L.A. Yesterday, they were in Chicago and Philadelphia. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Jason Walker.
When life hangs in the balance and minutes matter, trust the team that gets you there faster. TransAero Medevac. TransAero Medevac is a proud supporter of the Eddy County and Chavez County 4-H and FFA. They salute the hard work of Chavez and Eddy County's 4-H and FFA and are proud to see young people succeed. Don't miss the Eddy County Fair July 23rd through the 29th and the Chavez County Fair July 25th through the 29th. TransAero Medevac, a proud supporter of the Chavez and Eddy County 4-H and FFA programs. They really are wings for life.
More than 50 million Americans live with chronic pain. If you're experiencing pain that interferes with your daily life, Artesia General Hospital can help. Dr. Casey Della Barca and our compassionate team of providers treat a variety of conditions, including arthritis, back and neck pain, migraines, neuropathy, and more. We offer advanced procedures and comprehensive therapy, and we personalize treatment plans to help you get back to living a quality life. Request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/pain.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more English speakers than the United States. They have more Chinese speakers, too. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:58. That's about going to do it for us for today's show. If you missed any part, I invite you to check it out at your leisure. You can go to ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. Find all of our videos there. YouTube as well on our 106.5 Roswell Talk FM Facebook page. You'll find all of our videos there to go back and watch whenever you have a chance. This morning in the 7 o'clock hour, we had the boys from Richland, the Dodge boys. We had Scott, Brady, and John join us and just kind of give us an update on some of the stuff going on over at Richland. We replayed our interview with the Roswell Chamber Director, Andrea Moore, last hour, talking about their upcoming events, including next Tuesday. They've got that's their education event there. And then just a few minutes ago, we had Alethea and Bryce with the Roswell Community Little Theater join us, talking about their Curtains Rising event at the Liberty on August 5th, and Is He Dead, their next production, the next 2 weekends, August the 11th weekend and the 18th or 19th, that weekend after. Both those weekends for shows there. Roswell Theater, Theatre.com. You can get your tickets there. All right. Having a great weekend. Stay cool as much as you can. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. Monday morning with an all-new show. Till then, have an amazing weekend. Thanks for allowing us to be a part.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell.